unseen forces shape our destiny. Join Professor Jude Odenta as he explores the wonders, the questions, and the revelations that define existence. Mysteries of life, where every answer sparks a new discovery. Watch now on Aneke TV every Monday. From the tiniest cells to the farthest galaxies, life holds secrets we are only beginning to uncover. Why are we here? What connects us all? What unseen forces shape our destiny? Join Professor Jude Odenta as he explores the wonders, the questions, and the revelations that define existence. Mysteries of life. Christmas carols and the festival of 9 lessons and carols remain one of the most enduring traditions of the Christmas season, combining scripture, music, and reflection to tell the story of hope at the heart of the Christian faith. Beyond the pageantry and familiar melodies, the service carries lessons that continue to resonate in an increasingly divided and uncertain world. The Festival of 9 Lessons and Carols, which originated in England in the late 19th century and gained global recognition through the annual service at King's College, Cambridge, is carefully structured to trace the biblical narrative of humanity. The readings begin with the story of the fall, acknowledging human frailty and the consequences of disobedience before moving through the promises of redemption and culminating in the birth of Jesus Christ.
Now in the 6th month, the angel Gabriel was sent by God to a city of Galilee named Nazareth, to a virgin betrothed to a man whose name was Joseph of the house of David. The virgin's name was Mary. And having come in, the angel said to her, "Rejoice, highly favored one. The Lord is with you. Blessed are you among women."
Sing lying on the bed of straw, across his table with a open door. Mary cried in the bed she bore. The Prince of Glory is his name.
Carry me.
Oh, now carry me to Bethlehem to see the Lord appear to men. Just as was the stable then, the Prince of Glory when he came.
And here we are in the same country. Shepherds abiding in the field, keeping watch over their flock by night. And lo, the angel of the Lord came upon them, and the glory of the Lord shone round about them, and they were so afraid. 10. And the angel said unto them, Fear not, for behold, I bring you good tidings of great joy, which shall be to all people.
Hallelujah, amen. Hallelujah, amen. Ọwọ́ Chukwu ti gbénu wá ní ìwà nke Chukwu, amụrụ ya n'ụwa.
Christmas carols reinforce this message through music that is both participatory and reflective. Sung collectively by congregations and choirs, carols transform doctrine into lived experience. Their lyrics speak of joy, peace, humility, and goodwill, while their melodies evoke memory, belonging, and continuity across generations. In this way, carols bridge the sacred and the communal, drawing individuals into a shared moment of reflection. The significance of 9 lessons lies in their honesty. They do not deny the existence of pain, injustice, or suffering. Instead, they place these realities within a broader story of hope and restoration.
The angel of the Lord called to Abraham a second time out of heaven and said, By myself I have sworn, says the Lord, because you have done this thing. I have not withheld your son, your only son. Blessing I will bless you. And multiplying I will multiply your descendants as the stars of the heaven and as the sand which is on the seashore.
The people who walked in darkness have seen a great light. Those who dwelt in the land of the shadow of death, upon them a light has shined. You have multiplied the nation and increased its joy. They rejoice before you according to the joy of harvest, as men rejoice when they divide the spoil. For you have broken the yoke of his burden, and the staff of his shoulder, the rod of his oppressor, as in the day of Midian.
The world today rejoices with a joy that never dies, and we join those holy voices, praising Christ, our hope and pride.
Blessed God, the wonder story. Christ is born in Bethlehem. Glory in the highest glory. His complete goodwill to men.
The birth of Christ, as presented in the final readings, symbolizes renewal and the possibility of transformation even in the most difficult circumstances. This message remains relevant at a time when many societies are grappling with economic pressures, insecurity, and social tension. Beyond the religious setting, the service offers broader moral lessons, a cause for compassion in the face of hardship, generosity in times of want, and peace amid conflict. In contrast to the commercial excesses often associated with the festive season, the 9 lessons and Christmas carols invite quiet reflection, reminding audiences that the essence of Christmas is not consumption but conscience.
Joseph also went up from Galilee, out of the city of Nazareth, into Judea, unto the city of David, which is called Bethlehem. Into Judea, unto the city of David, which is called Bethlehem, because he was of the house and lineage of David, to be tasked with Mary, his supposed wife, being great with child. And so it was that while they were there, the days were accomplished that she should be delivered. And she brought forth her firstborn son, and wrapped him in a swaddling clothes, and laid him in a manger, because there was no room.
On the second day of Christmas, my true love said to me, two turtle doves and a partridge in a pear tree. On the third day of Christmas, my true love said to me, three French hens, two turtle doves and a partridge in a pear tree. On the fourth day of Christmas, my true love said to me, four calling birds, three French hens, two turtle doves and a partridge in a pear tree.
As we gather to celebrate Christmas, we remind ourselves of God's incredible gift to humanity. He gave His Son, Jesus Christ, born in humility, to bring salvation to all people. God's love is for you and for me. He loves you deeply, knowing your struggles and your fears. He sent Jesus Christ to bring hope, peace, and redemption to a hopeless world that lacks peace and that was ready for destruction. Jesus is the hope that God has given to us as a gift. Born in a manger, Jesus came for all, offering eternal life to all who will embrace it.
For many families and communities, the tradition also serves as a moment of pause. It encourages listening rather than rushing, reflection rather than distraction, and unity rather than division. In a fast-paced world, this pause has become increasingly valuable. As Christmas draws near, the continued relevance of Christmas carols and the 9 lessons lies in the ability to recenter attention on enduring values: help, peace, humility, and shared humanity. Beyond attending services and singing familiar carols, individuals and communities are encouraged to carry the
Good morning and welcome to News on the Hour on Aneke TV, your trusted window to the major developments shaping Nigeria and the global community. As we celebrate the Christmas season, a time of joy, reflection and renewed hope, we bring you the stories that matter most with clarity, balance and insight. I am Deborah Wakaba. Glad to have you join us. Now moving over to the headlines. President Bola Tinubu declares zero tolerance for terrorism, vows no mercy for terrorists and their sponsors. Enugu State government dismisses as false reports claiming the ceding of a border community to Kogi State. Nigeria and the United States seal a $5 billion health partnership to strengthen disease control and health system resilience. And on the foreign scene, United Nations Security Council calls for the immediate withdrawal of Rwandan forces from the Democratic Republic of Congo amid renewed M23 rebel advances. And on business, Nigerian National Petroleum Company Limited reduces the pump price of petrol by 80 naira. And in entertainment, we have National Film and Video Censors Board directs actress Inyedo to rename her Christmas-themed movie. And now to the news and details. Troops of Operation Hadin-Kai have intercepted 2 pickup vans suspected to be conveying logistics supplies to Islamic State West Africa Province terrorists in Borno State. The Media Information Officer of the Joint Task Force, Lieutenant Colonel Sani Uba, who announced this in a statement yesterday, said the operation was carried out based on credible intelligence. Items recovered include 2 civilian vehicles, 31 spare tires, 23 spare rims, bicycles, ignition key starters, charcoal, yams, blankets, and other logistics believed to be intended for terrorist support. Meanwhile, President Bola Tinubu has vowed that his administration will show no mercy to terrorists, bandits, kidnappers, and their sponsors across the country. The president made the declaration while presenting the 58.18 trillion naira 2026 appropriation bill to a joint session of the National Assembly on Friday. He said the proposed budget, tagged Budget of Consolidation, Renewed Resilience and Shared Prosperity, earmarks 5.41 million naira. In a related development, President Bola Tinubu has announced a major shift in Nigeria's security strategy, declaring that bandits, kidnappers and violent cult groups will now be treated as terrorists. Speaking during the 2026 budget presentation, the president said any armed group operating outside state authority, including foreign-linked mercenaries, will face a no-mercy response. Defense and security have emerged as top priorities in the 2026 budget presented by President Bola Tinubu to the National Assembly. A total of 5.41 trillion naira was allocated to the sectors in the 58.18 trillion naira appropriation bill. Other priority sectors include infrastructure with 3.56 trillion naira, education with 3.52 trillion naira, and health with 2.48 trillion naira, as the president promised improved discipline and accountability in spending. In the meantime, the Anglican Bishop of Enugu Diocese, Right Reverend Samuel Ike, has called on Nigerians to remember soldiers and internally displaced persons during the Christmas season. In his Christmas message titled "Allow the Prince of Peace to Reign," the bishop urged prayers and acts of generosity for those facing hardship due to insecurity. He also appealed to the federal government to consider a political solution to the Nnamdi Kanu issue and called for a review of multiple taxation to ease economic pressure on residents. The president of the Senate, Chief Godswill Akpabio, has appealed to President Bola Tinubu to reconsider the withdrawal of police officers attached to very important persons. Speaking during a joint session of the National Assembly, Chief Akpabio said lawmakers now feel exposed to security risks following the directive. He, however, commended the president's economic reforms and the 2026 budget proposal, assuring continued legislative support for the administration. Meanwhile, civil society organizations have criticized the call for the president of the Senate, Chief Godswill Akpabio, for the return of police escort to lawmakers and public officials. The group said the withdrawal of police personnel from the VIPs would help redirect security resources to ordinary citizens facing insecurity. They argued that leaders should not be insulated from the realities of the people and that good governance, not armed protection, earns public trust. The Nigerian police force has insisted that the motor vehicle tinted glass permit policy is lawful and meant to protect public safety. The force described claims by the Nigerian Bar Association president as stressing that the policy is backed by law. According to police, the Motor Vehicles Prohibition of Tinted Glass Act empowers the Inspector General of Police to issue permits based on security or health justifications. Independent National Electoral Commission (INEC) has asked the People's Democratic Party (PDP) to resolve its internal crisis ahead of upcoming elections. Of the party to a meeting at its Abuja headquarters following conflicting communications. The commission said the intervention was necessary to protect the electoral process and address public concern over the party's leadership dispute. President Bola Tinubu has warned state governors that he may issue an executive order to enforce direct allocation of funds to local governments. The warning was issued during the 15th APC National Executive Committee meeting in Abuja. The president expressed concern over continued non-compliance with the Supreme Court judgment granting financial autonomy to local councils. The Enugu State government has debunked reports claiming that the National Boundary Commission has ceded Ete community to Kogi State. In a statement, the State Boundary Committee said no decision has been reached on the long-standing boundary dispute. Residents were urged to disregard the report and remain calm, as the claim was described as fake and misleading. Nigeria and the United States have signed a $5 billion memorandum of understanding to strengthen health cooperation and security. The agreement will run from April 2026 to December 2030, with the U.S. providing nearly $2 billion in grants. Nigeria will commit at least 6% of executed budgets to health, targeting improved disease prevention and health system resilience. The Ekiti State government has dismissed a surgeon and suspended members of a surgical team at the Ekiti State University Teaching Hospital. The action followed an investigation into allegations of unlawful removal of a patient's kidney during surgery. The government said the decision was based on the findings of an independent panel set up to probe the incidents. News around the hour is coming to you live from Aneke TV. Remember, you can stay connected with us on all social media platforms like Facebook, X, Instagram, TikTok, and YouTube, all at Aneke TV. Now, a quick recap of the major stories making the news. President Bola Ahmed Tinubu has reiterated the federal government's zero-tolerance stance on terrorism, warning that terrorists and their sponsors will be shown no mercy. The Enugu State government has dismissed as false reports alleging the ceding of a border community to Kogi State, describing the claims as fake and misleading. Nigeria and the United States have sealed a $5 billion health partnership aimed at strengthening disease control and improving health system resilience. And coming up shortly on the foreign scene, the United Nations Security Council has called for immediate withdrawal of Rwanda forces from the Democratic Republic of Congo amid renewed advances by the M23 rebel group. And on business news, the Nigerian International Petroleum Company Limited (NNPCL) has reduced the pump price of petrol by 18 naira. And in entertainment, the National Film and Video Censors Board has directed actress Inyedo to rename her Christmas-themed movie. We'll be right back.
The Insight with Uche Osai.
Having the political will to confront whatever is the challenges.
Igbo man wrestles with
the tortoise that had a lot of ingenuity, a lot of ideas, and the tireless.
It will take the bold mind of government in power to say, let there be electoral reform, no matter who sorts is God.
I was there. We did everything. All of us came and supported him with our last blood.
In-depth analysis, expert views, real voices, uncover the stories shaping Nigeria today. Deep dive, honest, unfiltered, only on The Insight with Uche Osai on Aneke TV. Join us.
Join us on Arena, Aneke TV's premium current affairs.
Welcome back. The Nigerian Air Force C-130 aircraft recently released by Burkina Faso has arrived in Accra, Ghana. The aircraft was freed following a diplomatic engagement involving Nigeria's Minister of Foreign Affairs, Yusuf Tugar. NAS spokesperson Air Commodore Ehimen Ejodame confirmed that the aircraft departed Bobo Dioulasso airfield yesterday in line with an updated flight plan. He said the stopover in Ghana is part of preparations for onward movement through Banjul and Casablanca to Portugal for scheduled depot maintenance. The United Nations Security Council has unanimously demanded that Rwanda immediately withdraw its troops from the Democratic Republic of Congo and end support for the M23 rebel group. The council condemned the group's renewed offensive in eastern Congo, noting that the violence has displaced thousands and heightened regional instability. The resolution also called on the Congolese government to stop collaborating with the FDLR militia while extending the mandate of the UN peacekeeping missions, MONUSCO, for another year. The United States has intensified diplomatic efforts to secure a ceasefire in Sudan as humanitarian conditions worsen. U.S. Secretary of State Marco Rubio said the immediate goal is a humanitarian truce to allow aid access. Rubio disclosed that Washington is engaging regional actors including Saudi Arabia, Egypt, and the UAE to halt the flow of weapons fueling the conflict. The war between the Sudanese army and the Rapid Support Forces has displaced over 12 million people since April 2023, with Sudan now among the world's worst humanitarian crises. Russian President Vladimir Putin says Russia seeks no further wars provided its security interests are respected by the West. He made the remarks during a marathon televised direct line broadcast. Putin dismissed fears of a Russian attack on Europe but insisted that peace depends on NATO halting its expansion and ending support for Ukraine. Despite the comments, Russian missile strikes were reported in Ukraine shortly after the broadcast as Moscow maintained its demand for control of occupied regions. Brazil's Supreme Court has approved a temporary transfer of former President Jair Bolsonaro from prison for a surgical procedure. The approval was granted by Justice Alexandre de Moraes. Bolsonaro, who is serving a 27-year sentence over a coup plot, requires surgery for an inaugural hernia, according to federal police doctors. The court, however, rejected his request to serve the remainder of his sentence under house arrest, insisting he return to custody after treatment. The Nigerian National Petroleum Company Limited has reduced the pump price of petrol for the third time in December. In Abuja, petrol now sells at 835 naira per litre. The new price represents an 80 naira deduction from the previous 915 naira per litre, according to checks by journalists. The court follows similar reductions by other marketers after Dangote Refinery and depot owners lowered ex-depot prices nationwide. Preparations are on the way for the 2025 Africa Cup of Nations, which will be hosted by Morocco in December. This marks the first time the tournament will be played during the festive season. Morocco enters the competition with strong credentials following historic performances at the 2022 World Cup and recent youth and continental success. These achievements have led many analysts to rate the Atlas Lions as pre-tournament favorites. Former world heavyweight champion Anthony Joshua recorded a 6th-round knockout victory over Jake Paul in Miami. Joshua dominated the bout, dropping Paul twice in the 5th round before forcing a stoppage in the 6th. After the fight, Joshua challenged longtime rival Tyson Fury, while Paul announced plans to take a break from boxing. The National Film and Video Censors Board has asked actress Aneke to change the title of her film, A Very Dirty Christmas, following objections from the Christian Associations of Nigeria (CAN). CAN described prompting the board to intervene in the interest of religious sensitivity. Recall, but the board said it reserves the right to review or withdraw films to protect public interests. Creator Pella has apologized following his arrest by the Lagos State Police Command over alleged dangerous driving. In a video message, he expressed remorse and appealed to Nigerians for forgiveness, stating that he is currently receiving medical care. The incident in a recent relationship breakup, which both parties have acknowledged. And finally, here's a recap of Out of Stories. President Bola Ahmed Tinubu has reaffirmed the federal government's zero-tolerance policy on terrorism, assuring Nigerians that terrorists and their sponsors will face the full weight of the law. The Enugu State government has debunked reports claiming that a border community has been ceded to Kogi State, describing the information as false and misleading. Nigeria and the United States have entered into a $5 billion health partnership aimed at strengthening disease control and improving the resilience of the nation's health system. And on the foreign scene, the United Nations Security Council has called for the immediate withdrawal of Rwanda forces from the Democratic Republic of Congo following renewed advances by the M23 rebel group. And in business news, the Nigerian National Petroleum Company Limited has reduced the pump price of petrol by 80 naira. And in entertainment, the National Film and Video Censors Board has directed actress Aneke to rename her Christmas-themed movie. And that's news around the hour on Aneke TV. For more news and live updates, follow us across all social media platforms: Facebook, X, Instagram, TikTok, and YouTube, all at Aneke TV. I am Deborah Wakoba. Thank you for watching.
ehe a sị na ekwe kụọ ama agba ekwe ụmụ nwaanyị akụọla o ọkwa na nzukọ ụmụ nwaanyị oge anyị ji akpa maka ọdịmma anyị karịkwa maka ọdịmma ezinụlọ nzukọ ụmụ nwaanyị bụ ebe anyị na-akpa maka arụ ike anyị ndọrọ ndọrọ ọchịchị azụmahịa omenala ndị ahụ dị mma nakwa ihe ndị ahụ ga-eweta ọganihu n'obodo naanị ihe ị ga-eme bụ sonyela anyị na nzukọ ụmụ nwaanyị ebe ahụ a na-akarị ihe na-eweta ọganihu n'obodo ndị nne ndị nna oge a bụkwa nke anyị sonyela anyị na Aneke TV n'ebe a na-emetụ aka n'ihe ndị oyibo na-akpọ soshal midia na TikTok, YouTube, Facebook, X, Instagram ọkwa na Aneke TV ka ihe ndị a niile na-eme Aneke TV anyị apụọnụ.
Security is not just police on patrol. It is safety in homes, schools, markets, and mines. Without it, progress is impossible. Be alert, report danger, support community watch. True security is collective responsibility.
As Christians across Nigeria prepare to celebrate the joy and spirit of Christmas, religious leaders in Enugu have sent heartfelt messages to guide the faithful during this festive season. From Orthodox to Pentecostal churches, their calls carry a common theme: love, peace, and unity. At a time when families and communities come together, these leaders urge Nigerians to embrace compassion, forgiveness, and togetherness, reflecting the deep meaning of the holiday. Aneke TV News has compiled these messages, highlighting the voices of faith leaders as they encourage communities to celebrate thoughtfully and joyfully, keeping the spirit of Christmas alive in every home. Catholic, Anglican, Methodist, and Pentecostals.
The meaning of Christmas really is God is with us. Emmanuel is with us. At every point of celebration in these days, we must remember that God is with us. With us in every situation, in our businesses, in our homes, and in whatever we do in politics. God has stepped into your pain. Remember this. And your shame and your embarrassment. That situation must be ready to recognize that a son is given to help you to come out of the situation. Christmas, generally, the mission is to serve and restore. To serve humanity and restore humanity. Unto us a child is born, unto us a son is given, and the government shall be on his shoulders, and he shall be called Wonderful, Wonderful Counselor, Mighty God, Everlasting Father, Prince of Peace, Mighty God. Did you hear that scripture? Unto us a child is born, and unto us a son is given. The government of your home, government of your nation, government of your business, government of your church shall be on his shoulders. And therefore, I wish every family a very, very Merry Christmas.
I want to wish a happy Christmas to all the believers all over the world, all the Christians in Enugu, Nigeria, and beyond. Christmas is a season of celebration. It is a time when believers all over the world gather together to commemorate the birth of Jesus Christ of Nazareth. And I pray that this season of celebration will bring unending joy to every family that dare to celebrate this season. And one funny thing about Christmas is that even those who don't go to church cannot deny the wind of the season. So, whichever way, I wish everyone happy, blissful Christmas and a prosperous New Year.
If he was not born at this time, our faith in Christ, our faith in God would have been in vain. It was because his arrival on this earth that made everything possible for us. And hereby, I want to encourage the people of Enugu State and the entire world to embrace Christ. He brought into us a new glory. He brought a new vision. He brought in mercy. And that is why the Bible said that whosoever believed in him, whosoever that accepted him, make a U-turn and believe in him, is a such person will not be perished. That person will not suffer the punishment of the old. That person will not partake in the evil of the family. That person will not partake in the destruction that is coming ahead. But once you believe in him, you are safe. That is why we celebrate him today. Honestly, it might not be that Jesus was born exactly on 25th of December. But when the earlier father discovered everything going on, they said, no, this kind of person needs to be celebrated. And that was when they brought him to be celebrated every 25th of December. I want to encourage you, celebrate Christ with fear. Celebrate this season with all form of remorse, knowing that a man was born that brought salvation to you. This is not a season to live a lousy life. This is not a season you say, it is a must that I must accomplish this and that and that. Anyone that you were unable to do, relax. Next year, you continue. Jesus is alive and will forever be alive.
I would like to remind Christians, all of us, that the most important thing is remember the birth, yes, but the death and resurrection of our Lord Jesus Christ and what it means to us. And have this in mind. It means that we have salvation. It means that we have redemption through his death and through his resurrection. That is our Christmas message to Christians.
Jesus Christ came to change the narrative. He came in to bring hope to the hopeless, to bring life to the lifeless, to bring joy to the joyless, and to bring peace to the non-peaceful situations. He is the Prince of Peace. And since he came in, the narrative of the whole world has changed. So with Christ and the Mass or about him that we are celebrating is a Mass of hope, a Mass of reassurance. Number one, that God has not forgotten man. That times when things are so bad, we think, has God not forgotten me? Or has God not forgotten us? But Christmas reassures man that God does not forget. And God will not forget. So every time we celebrate Christmas, it should be a time of reassurance. It should be a time of renewed hope that however bad things might have gone, a time of change is coming. And that's what I want all the viewers to know. I don't know what has been very wrong in your life. I don't know the challenges you have faced. I don't know the semi-hopeless situation in your life. All I can tell you, because of Christmas, hope is coming. There's hope. A new dawn will come. It's like we are down to the lowest pit, but Nigeria will rise again.
As the Christmas and New Year holidays approach, the Enugu State Police Command is urging residents and travelers to stay alert and prioritize their personal safety throughout the festive season. In a statement signed by the Police Public Relations Officer, Mr. Daniel Ndukwe, the command called for greater vigilance, warning that poor planning during the celebrations often leads to avoidable security and safety risks. The police are advising members of the public to plan their movements carefully, remain aware of their surroundings, and report any suspicious behavior to the nearest security agency. Travelers are also being asked to check the security situation of their routes before embarking.
Into the program this morning. Mr. Rez.
Yeah, be with us as we go on retrospect this morning.
Yes,
and I think I've seen you beaming some smile. I think Christmas season is actually bringing rosy environments, rosy ideas. And
all right. When you see me beaming with smile, you can only attribute it to my CEO, Chief Dr. Pascal Aneke, and the director himself. So
of course that it spread upon almost all,
yes.
So, in fact all the staff of this
yes. So you can see I'm not the only one beaming with smiles.
The CEO has been able to splash mouth-watering things on us and we are sincerely grateful for that.
Yes, yeah. All right, and after that we'll be giving you our newspaper headlines throughout the week.
All right.
Okay, starting from today's newspaper, we'll be taking this week's paper from The Nation headlines, Punch, Vanguard, and The Guardian newspaper. Now, today's paper is coming from The Nation headline that says, Defense security top priorities in 58.18 trillion naira 2026 budget. And in the Punch headline says, U.S. visa panic disrupts 30 December. And in the Vanguard headline says, security is Tinubu's priority in 58.18 trillion naira 2026 budget. And in the Vanguard headline says, 13 days to expiration, Tinubu seeks to cut 2025 budget by over 6 trillion naira present 58.18 trillion naira 2026 budget estimate.
All right, let's go to The Nation newspaper. I think that's a good place to start from this morning.
All right, The Nation paper says, defense security top priorities in 58.18 trillion naira 2026 budget.
All right. When you look at security, defense, being a top priority for Mr. President as we move into journey into 2026 and being reflected on the budget, 58.18 trillion in the budget, that tells you where we are and where we've been as a nation, what the intentions are. At this point in the life of Nigeria, I do not think that any sound mind would kick against whatever amount we vote for as regards defense and security. And Mr. Rice, what does this tell you? Mr. President making defense security a top priority in 2026 budget.
Yes, it has to be a priority because all is not well. We already know the security situation in Nigeria. The security situation is nothing to write home about. So the president, for him to come tops or for him to really achieve as president or make a difference in Nigeria as a president, Bola Ahmed Tinubu must really prioritize the defense security issues more than any other thing. And that's exactly what he's doing. But let it not be like in the past where a whole lot of big budgets are made for security and defense. And most often, some of these budgets are not realized in real terms. That is to say, sometimes we do not see the things we budgeted money for. For instance, sometimes in the past we have budgeted for arms, ammunition, jets for the
Air Force.
Air Force, and of course boats, and for the Navy. And most often, some of these things are not seen, and then we lack those necessary equipment to confront security issues, both within and outside the borders of Nigeria.
Okay, Mr. Rest, the emphasis here is in not just voting homogeneous amounts for the defense and security in the budget, but implementation.
That is exactly what I was saying. Let it not be like that. That is to say, the implementation has to be real. The implementation has to be very transparent, and the government has to be accountable. We'll be able to give account of how they have spent all that money. And then we'll begin to see the effect of such expenditure in the life of Nigeria. That is to say, that security issues, the insecurity we have will be nipped in the bud. And let me also say that we do not envisage a situation where budgets are padded instead. It's not about voting so much some. Sometimes they are padded. They say budget is this. At the end of the day, are not used. So let the budget be real. Let the government, the executive, be accountable, not running in collusion with the legislature, because the legislature in Nigeria have turned to become a legislature with executive background. That is where they now ask for constituency projects. They have to execute projects. The legislature is not meant to execute projects. The legislature is meant for laws of the land. Laws that will guide the executive in ensuring that the country remains good, fine, virile, and attractive for whatever kind of situation that a good country deserves. So that is what the legislature is. But now the legislature go about building roads, electricity, and all that. So, and that gave room for the budget, the problems in the budget. They want to have money which they will award contracts for themselves and their cronies and all that. So we are not expecting that in this present budget. I expect a budget that is meant for defense and security to be a budget meant for it.
All right, and with that, one expects that we'll be able to bring, together this fight against insurgency in Nigeria. But can we speak to the fact that people are seeing the fight against banditry, terrorism, as as an economy of its own? When when we're seeing this huge amount being again budgeted for defense and security, does he give credence to that allusion that it has become an economy of its own?
It is not just about the budget for defense. The entire budget of Nigeria, seems to revolve around very deep economic interest of persons vested with responsibilities. You see, when a ministry will always come and begin to, when they are asked to give what they need for the year, they will always give what they think would be good enough for them. Some of them who are interested in stealing money, I allege that only, that some are interested in some, very few, interested in stealing money. They want to make the budget fat enough so that they will have enough to take after all. Yeah. But this time, you see, because the anti-graft agencies are beginning to look at the activities of past executives, I think that is coming down to the lowest ebb. And I hope that the president and his team will continue in that manner to check the excesses of those in government, so that it will not be business as usual, so that Nigeria will be better for everything that we are supposed to be better for.
All right, and hopefully we would expect better, being that the president has spoken about cutting waste and being able to, manage the debts the nation has found itself in. We can only hope, and then when this budget is passed, and we'll continue to X-ray to see what implementation is like. But at the end of the day, one thing that can be, wished away is that we have to confront the security situation in Nigeria. Thank you. Let's move over. Let's see the Punch newspaper.
Yes, and the Punch newspaper is saying that U.S. visa panic disrupts
tourism in Nigeria, started to shine again, being that a lot of foreigners begin to troop in Nigeria for 30 December. But this time around, we are being told that the body language and the disposition of the United States government having placed Nigeria as one of the countries of particular concern and not to grant visa because they say Nigerians overstay their visa in their country and refuse to return. As a result of that, won't be granted visas, and now is making the headline. The people are thinking it will scuttle the 30 December. But let's look at it from the point of view of booming tourism.
For the United States, they are being mindful and careful. When they have designated Nigeria out as a place of special concern, it means that Nigeria is now deep into terrorism. And when you talk about terrorism, America is very skeptical of, getting the dirty business of terrorism in their nation. It had happened before, and they will not want it to happen again and again. So when you have people coming from Nigeria to the United States, it means that they are beginning to have bigger security risk, because the chances of a terrorist being part of the visitors might be there, and one would think that such persons with their motives could unleash some kind of terror in that region. So security is partly part of why the United States has taken a position security is more important than the boost on terrorism. When you boost terrorism, of course, you boost terrorism with that, but then, I mean, you boost tourism, sorry. You boost tourism with that, but then you have to be sure you are secured. And America is security conscious, very much security conscious. They don't toy with anything that has to do with security because they know that without security, there is no development.
Yes.
Everything will be nosedive. That is the situation in Nigeria. Our developmental initiatives have been crushed or has crumbled because of lack of security. Otherwise, we would have gone a little further if in the past 2 years that Ahmed Tinubu came into power, that the security of this country has been stable and we have no problem, I think we would have moved an inch forward.
Yes.
So that's America for you.
All right. Very apt. And then, it becomes even more worrisome that those who had booked their visas to Nigeria, their tickets to Nigeria, are beginning to cancel such tickets as a result of fear of visa revocation after they return to Nigeria for the 30th December and all that. But one thing we will not take away from this government is that so far they've shown intent and they've shown the will to confront the challenge of security, to see that Nigeria, continue to occupy its place at the Committee of Nations. And we know that the issue of security didn't start from the government of President Bola Ahmed Tinubu. Has been there, but on a good measure they've shown intent. And with the return of the kidnapped students and all that, which we didn't witness as of 2014, 2015. Remember the Chibok case. But in this time around, the president cancelled trips and came out to say, yes, that he will see to it that they are returned, and they are being returned. And on that regard, I think the will and the intent is there and enough for everyone to see. But we may continue to advise the government of Nigeria to continue to engage their U.S. counterparts. The U.S. has been our allies, and frictions like this shouldn't be allowed.
All right, now moving over to the next paper coming from the Vanguard newspaper, and the headline says, security is Tinubu's priority in 58.18 trillion naira 2026 budget.
Mr. It's making headlines.
It's
quite
still,
important.
Yeah, it is still the same thing. It is a priority, and it ought to be a priority.
Yeah.
For the president, he knows that the ultimate thing he needs is to fight insecurity to a standstill. Otherwise, he will come out not performing as president. President Ahmed Tinubu, he was Lagos State Governor from 1999 to 2007. I guess that's the date. And he did very well. Even when the federal government seized their own fund from the federation account, he was running Lagos and running effectively, paying salaries and all of that. In fact, he performed when he was governor. And he wants to replicate same now that he's president. But the insecurity situation has not allowed him to go beyond what he ought to have gone. Because I do believe that's exactly why I said that if insecurity has not been there the way it is presently, we would have seen a better president in action.
Yeah.
But be it as it may, he is working hard to ensure that he stems the tide in terms of insecurity so as to bring Nigeria to a better level, because we need to move to the next level.
That's true.
The other countries like Malaysia and all of that, they have moved to the next level. We need to be one of the countries, in fact, one of the countries in Africa that would have moved to the next level to meet up with some of these Asian tigers.
And one thing, Mr. Resi, you're you're hitting the nail on the head, because if nothing is done about insecurity in Nigeria, at the end of the day, it may define the whole of his presidency. you know. But the question remains: how and when did we get to this point where the terrorists, the bandits, have grown so courageous to, speak to us publicly?
Well, it was like a gathering storm. It was like a gathering storm. When the Boko Haram started with Yusuf, of course, before now we had the Metesine. We can say it's a sect. We had it, but it was quietened at that time. But most recently, we started having the Boko Haram. And the Boko Haram came in, the Southern came. They started like there were political talks, doing some political jobs and all that. And these people later ended up being on their own and began the terrorist act in the northern part of Nigeria, in Borno particularly. And today, many others have sprang up because the Boko Haram insurgents was not nipped in the bud. They now saw that, you see, the government may be incapable of controlling that situation. That's why one of our guests in this studio, of course, said that Nigeria is becoming a hub for terrorism. So, because today, it's not just Boko Haram, the ISWAP have entered here, and the Al-Qaeda, and other ones.
Yeah.
Then you now talk about the banditry.
Yeah.
You see, the bandits are on their own. They are just terrorists to a group of terrorists that have not named themselves. They are not, identified with a particular name, but they are there everywhere. And
Okay.
we have the killer headsmen.
Yes.
They're all there. So, and because the problem was not tackled from when it started rearing its head up, it now blew up. In fact, that's why I said it was like a gathering storm, which snowballed into
a bigger
a
problem.
tornado.
Yeah. That's true.
All right. Just like we did say, it's been, it's been in the coming from successive administration, and like you quietly pointed out, because we didn't nip it in the bud, it has, in the medical terms, they'll say it has metastasized, to what we're witnessing today. But be that as it may, it is a collective effort of all Nigerians. They say when you see something, say something,
yeah.
and that's the only way we can tackle insecurity in Nigeria. If we continue to, hug and hobnob with bad elements in the society, seeing them as one of us, then when it grows to a hydra-headed monster, we may not be able to curtail it. So when you see something, say something. And on that note, we'll go on a short break. And when we return, we'll continue to look into the newspaper headlines.
Ehe, a sị na ekwe kụọ ama agba. Ekwe ụmụ nwaanyị akụọla o. Ọkwa na nzukọ ụmụ nwaanyị oge anyị ji akpa maka ọdịmma anyị karịkwa maka ọdịmma ezinụlọ. Nzukọ ụmụ nwaanyị bụ ebe anyị na-akpa maka arụ ike anyị, ndọrọ ndọrọ ọchịchị, azụmahịa, omenala ndị ahụ dị mma, nakwa ihe ndị ahụ ga-eweta ọganihu n'obodo. Naanị ihe ị ga-eme bụ sonyela anyị na nzukọ ụmụ nwaanyị ebe ahụ a na-akarị ihe na-eweta ọganihu n'obodo. Ndị nne, ndị nna, oge a bụkwa nke anyị. Sonyela anyị na Aneke TV n'ebe a na-emetụ aka n'ihe ndị oyibo na-akpọ social media na TikTok, YouTube, Facebook, X, Instagram. Ọkwa na Aneke TV ka ihe ndị a niile na-eme. Aneke TV, anyị apụọnụ.
program where politics, development, and governance come alive. Every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday, we host top professionals and thought leaders who speak their minds on issues shaping Nigeria and the world. It's inclusive, enriching, and absolutely captivating.
The roadmap is let's have our environment secured so that investors can come.
If you don't know what economic security is, kidnapping will tell you what it is. You kidnap me, ransom.
Customers are going to get these meters, and like we said, it's at no cost.
There are things that dialogue can handle. But when you leave it, I want to use a kinetic approach alone. You cannot.
For discussions that promise insight and deliver truth, stay tuned, stay informed, and keep watching Arena, only on Aneke TV.
From the tiniest cells to the farthest galaxies, life holds secrets we are only beginning to uncover. Why are we here? What connects us all? What unseen forces shape our destiny? Join Professor Jude Udenta as he explores the wonders, the questions, and the revelations that define existence. Mysteries of life, where every answer sparks a new discovery. Watch now on Aneke TV every Monday.
A sị na ekwe kụọ ama agba, ekwe ụmụ nwaanyị akụọla o. Ọkwa na nzukọ ụmụ nwaanyị oge anyị ji akpa maka ọdịmma anyị karịkwa maka ọdịmma ezinụlọ. Nzukọ ụmụ nwaanyị bụ ebe anyị na-akpa maka arụ ike anyị, ndọrọ ndọrọ ọchịchị, azụmahịa, omenala ndị ahụ dị mma, nakwa ihe ndị ahụ ga-eweta ọganihu n'obodo. Naanị ihe ị ga-eme bụ sonyela anyị na nzukọ ụmụ nwaanyị ebe ahụ a na-akarị ihe na-eweta ọganihu n'obodo. Ndị nne, ndị nna, oge a bụkwa nke anyị. Sonyela anyị na Aneke TV n'ebe a na-emetụ aka na ihe ndị oyibo na-akpọ social media na TikTok, YouTube, Facebook.
You're still watching the Week in Retrospect on Aneke TV. Now we're taking a look at our newspaper coming from Monday, starting from the Nation headline that says 2,000 federal government tractors moved to farms January. And also on the Punch headline says car import rebound hits 1 trillion naira in 9 months. And on the Vanguard headline says 2 former governors fueling insecurity. And lastly, on the Guardian headline, it reads, Buhari's legacy on trial as Emefiele ex-ministers face 3.5 trillion naira graft probe.
All right, let's go back to the Punch newspaper.
All right, the Punch newspaper says, car imports rebound hits 1 trillion naira in 9 months.
All right, Mr. S, we are talking about importation now, and this has to do with the economy. I don't know if you have any take on this issue of car imports rebound hits 1 trillion in 9 months.
Well, you see, Nigeria is a nation, no matter the kind of economy we have, Nigerians love going on cars. And that is why Nigerian marketers are always importing cars and cars. If you go to all the news and cranny of streets in all the cities in Nigeria, you see car shops everywhere. Yeah. So Nigerians believe in car businesses, and that is why, car business, sorry, and that is why you have so many of them, importing these cars for sale, to turn over and make money. Nigerians like running cars. Of course, if you even look at the world record, there's no car that you say is state of the art in the world that you don't have a Nigeria owning. If you go to these celebrities, people like Davido, they have all
different
manner
types
of, choice cars, Lamborghini,
Porsche,
whatever. silver spirit, rose, and all that. They have so many of it. You see, Rolls Royce, whenever you own one, anywhere in the world, the record is there.
Okay.
So in Rolls Royce, the record is there that somebody who is in Malaysia owns a Rolls Royce.
Okay.
You know, you don't open Rolls Royce. You don't open the engine for 100 years. So you cannot say we are working on the engine for 100 years. The moment you have any problem with the engine, you take it back to Rolls and they give you another one.
Oh, okay.
So that is the way it is. So Nigerians are car crazy, just like the people from UAE, Dubai. They are car crazy too. That's why you have almost all the cars in the world. People buy them because of course Nigerians are there. A lot of people who are into oil, they don't mess with these cars. And sometimes when you say that some Nigerians, of course, Nigerians have money, but these monies are individual money. And these monies are not the collective wealth that should have been used for the development. That's why you have a more impoverished number of Nigerians. But the few others, there's no kind of car in the world
that they don't have
in their covers.
So, Mr. Rest, can we say that with car import rebounds, do we link this to a thriving economy?
Well, you see, Nigeria as a nation do not actually obey all these economic fundamentals. The law of demand and supply, the law of this and that in economics does not hold in Nigeria. And why do I say that? You find out that as we are talking, the naira has been stable and sometimes gaining, yet the prices of these imported goods have not gone down one bit. If you go to the market to find out, you find out they have not gone down one bit, which means that these laws, as we go, that the dollar comes down and naira is appreciating, there should have been a little decrease in the prices of these things that are imported into the country with dollar. You understand? But it's not working like that. I gave instances, this week on this program of Newspaper Review that Kanu Idika Kanu, who was doing very well, one of the super economists who have ever produced, went to Malaysia and turned around the economy, went to Gambia and turned the same, and came to Nigeria. He never worked. So you see, why is it not working? Because of the factors in Nigeria, the peculiarity of Nigeria. So you may not completely say it's a result of a growing economy. The economic indices for now has not been bad because in the past 1-2 months, there's been some shift, upward shift economically in Nigeria. The prices of locally produced goods, rice, beans, yam, and all these things went down a little bit. If you go to the market, you see it. And of course, that is giving a good December. It's only that poverty had been there, and people have been finding it very difficult to actually cope. Otherwise, if our economy had been stable and we have situations like this, of course, we have said that we have a growing economy.
All right. I do not think that those in government will agree any less with you, being that you observe that the price of commodities in the market, especially locally produced staple foods, are coming down and are quite apt anyways, because Nigeria, everybody understands and accepts the peculiarity of the Nigerian economy. Let's move over to the Vanguard.
All right, now in the Vanguard headline, it is reading that allegations of a terrorist, 2 former governors fueling insecurity, says Tochi Bello.
Mr. Rest, I keep coming to you because in Nigeria, the director, please still leave us with that newspaper headline. You're seeing Touch Bello now being bold enough to speak to us in our face, and we're being told in his allegation that's a terrorist talking. There are two former governors fueling insecurity, and you begin to think about the audacity of a terrorist to make such weighty allegation against former governors.
Well, it's not about making allegation, it's about substantiating an allegation. You see, when a terrorist is talking, I don't know the morality upon which we begin to believe the terrorist. A terrorist is a terrorist. If a terrorist knows that what he's doing is terror, then why is he still talking and making allegations? Of course, it's not the same Toji Bello that said he has not seen 5 million before. 5 million naira. How do we begin to believe? But his boys are kidnapping people and taking ransom almost all the time. And he's saying he has not seen 5 million. And people are being killed. And he's saying he's not doing it, he's doing it for interest. What kind of interest? So what is he doing? What is he, terrorizing for? That's the question. What is Toji Bello terrorizing for if he has never seen, 5 million? Then I do not believe him one bit, because I do not know how a terrorist will begin to tell us the truth.
No, Mr. Rest, let me cut in a bit. Sorry for that. But when you equate, perhaps he's fighting for a cause. We know that there are terrorists who fight for a cause they believe in, while the Nigeria, the particular nature of insecurity in Nigeria has come to a point where we'll have bandits who are kidnapping for ransom. And if a terrorist like Bello is telling you that he has not seen 5 million, perhaps he is fighting a different cause.
What is the cause? What is he fighting for? Has he been identified as Boko Haram, ISWAP, or any of them? He's just a mere bandit.
Okay.
So he has been identified as a bandit who are into kidnapping and even asking people to pay taxes to them. The communities that are next are asked to bring in money. And he's saying he has not seen 5 million. How can he say a thing like that? Okay, what has he been negotiating for? What has he been negotiating for? Tell us exactly what you are doing and why are you pinpointing those ex-governors as fueling terrorism or banditry? If they are fueling, how are they fueling it? Are there the people that gave you the gun, the AK-47, you and your group? If they are, say them and let us know. And these people have come out, like Bafara said he has never been involved. What is he going to gain from terrorism? Of course, he has defended himself, and it is his word against Toji Bello's word. And nobody has come to substantiate that. And you see, I find it very difficult. I personally find it very difficult. And of course, although we are talking from a medium here, but somehow I couldn't detach my emotions from this, because I find it difficult to believe that a terrorist is telling what is the morale. Because if a terrorist has this kind of morale, then he should know that terror jobs, kidnapping and all that are not supposed to be. He should have joined the hunters and to fight the banditry if he's so morally upright as he claims. So I do not think that those speeches from Toji Bello should be taken very serious. It's diversionary, because he intends to make people begin to discuss on issue that
psychological warfare.
Thank you.
But I know you're not a security expert, but my two questions here: why is it that we've seen our military being able to demobilize and decimate the groups led by Yusuf and the likes of them. But Turji Bello has been in the scene for long, and yet he still has the audacity to speak publicly to the Nigerian people. That's one. Two, when and why is it that up to this moment we've not released the list of terrorist financiers in Nigeria? Because I assume if we release that list, perhaps we will know the truth in his allegation if these governors are involved as financiers or enablers of terrorism.
Okay, let me start from your last question. There's been a release of terrorism financiers and involved, people involved in terrorism activities, or who are known. Of course, the federal government released a list sometime, but no arrest has been made. Then, because no arrest has been made, it means possibly they are still trying to, get some of the facts that could lead to those people being indicted in court if they are arraigned. So you don't just arrest people when you don't have enough evidence, because it is this evidence.
Why release a list if there are no evidence to back it up?
They may be still working on evidence, but the pressure has been high from the people for government to release a list, because if we go back, there was this army general who was invested with the responsibility of investigating terrorists in Nigeria. Of course, at a point where he arrested some intentionally and home, and he was retired, put to jail, and sent home, if you remember. And recently he granted interview, and of course as well asked the US to provide security for him and his family because they want to kill him. And that's where he said that some of his colleagues in the Ministry of Defense or in the army are part of the terrorism business. In this circumstance, I call it terrorism business because it's like a business for those involved in it. And you remember that even the northern governors decided to say that mining should stop in the north. That will help the terrorism business to also stop, which means that terrorism is attached to mining in the northern part of Nigeria. Okay. That is the implication. Yeah. Or one will assume that it is so from, after making deductions from the statements.
Investigation, okay.
Good. So, but Toji himself does not belong to even any known group. You understand?
Yeah.
He does not belong to any known group as to saying that, people are doing this or doing that to aid terrorism. What does he even know about terrorism? He's just a pawn. I want to see him as a pawn. You said the military have not been able to, they have been able to, take care of Yusuf group. That of Toji, even most recently, Kachala was killed. He's a Man Friday of Toji Bello. The other one was killed sometime last month, and Man Friday of Toji Bello. So, and people were asking, some people were asking Toji Bello to just surrender because his men are now being cut to size. So the military, the defense people are doing a yeoman's job, especially most recently in the Sokoto axis, where Toji and his group are operating. So I think the Nigerian government and the security changes that have been done are doing very well.
All right. And maybe perhaps that's why he's beginning to, be loquacious and speak out to the publicly often the way he's doing. Perhaps he is scared that very soon our boys in uniform will do justice or serve justice to him, So having said that, we'll move over to Debbie to the next day.
All right, now let's take our Tuesday paper, starting with the Nation headline that says, Buhari didn't name successor to save life, keep APC intact. And also on the Punch headline says, Petron battlefield, Dangote importers locked in brutal price war. And then in the Guardian headline says, Supreme Court's verdict on emergency rule unsettles polity power structure. And in the Vanguard headline says, year-end festivities push inflation to 4-month high.
All right, let's just stick with the Nation newspaper, where we're told that Buhari didn't name a successor to save life, keep APC intact. Mr. Rez, here we are. Yes, indeed, he didn't openly name a successor.
Okay.
In fact, at one point, he did tell the nation that if he should name a successor, that the person may be killed. And for security reasons, he didn't. Mr. Rez.
Okay, you already said it. He didn't name the successor, possibly because he's scared that whoever he names, that they will come after that such person, and the person may be killed. He was only scared. It's not as if he hadn't in mind. After all, when he came on board, somebody said openly that it was his turn. And nobody left that statement. The statement kept ringing bell until the person came in to become the president. You say you are talking. He said somebody did an alliance, and of course through the alliance Buhari came on board as president. And then the person said after Buhari it will be my turn. And today that statement became real, and somebody is there as a president. Of course Buhari even made it clear why he did not say his successor openly. But that's a mere tapestry of deceit. It's a tapestry of deceit because he didn't mention it. Everyone knows the person that was coming on board. Did he promote any other? No. The person was on board coming and nothing happened. It was going to be a problem, then, but every other person was made to sheath their swords and not eventually come up for that presidential nomination at that time. So, and today, it has paid off for them in the APC. And even the Aneke, the then Aneke chairman, today has been nominated as an ambassador. I don't know if they are paid, because we have a whole lot of controversies, though the Supreme Court has already ruled. The Supreme Court ruled, and that solved it. And we have a president in place, and we have a Nigeria running, and what we are doing now is to fight insecurity to achieve what we intend to achieve.
Yeah.
All right. Debbie?
All right, now let's move over to our Wednesday paper, also starting from the Daily Trust headline that says, Labour rallies against insecurity. And in the Vanguard headline says, workers facing worst survival crisis in Nigeria's history, says Nigerian Labour, says NLC. And also the Punch headline says, insecurity, police deploy special forces ahead of NLC protest today. And then in the Guardian headline says, anxiety, mistrust cloud Nigeria's tax reform promises benefits.
All right, let's quickly run to the Punch newspaper, where we're told the police deploy special forces ahead of NLC protests, and would it, argue and talk about this scenario where, the police are quick to deploy men against protesters in Nigeria. But this time around, we are told is to ensure peace, to orderliness in the protest, and against hijack of a good intended protest, just to register, the grievances of the Labour Party to the government. But for fear that that peaceful process may be hijacked, we are being told that special forces were deployed. Mr. Reyes.
Well, it was a good idea by the police topmost hierarchy to deploy a very special force. When you call special force, it means these people have been trained to guide against problems that could emanate from protests like that of the labor. So, but at the same time, the worry of many Nigerians is that the police in Nigeria has been the police in Nigeria, which started from the colonial masters and down to what they are presently. Even with the various reforms they have tried to do, to ensure that policing in Nigeria becomes efficient and effective. Yet, the instinct of colonialism is still there within the Nigerian police. How are we sure that these people, tagged special forces, will not be like the others? Because these people are not from the United States or from Britain. They are police that are raised in Nigeria, trained in Nigeria, and made to live like Nigerians. So, and Nigerians have some inherent factors that guide most of the things they do. So we had the NSAS during the last administration, and of course people were killed and nothing happened because nobody has been tried, and possibly indicted by any court of competent jurisdiction in respect to what happened during the NSAS. It was said to be a peaceful protest, although at some point it became violent at some places. The police is supposed to be prepared to nip in the bud any form of violence during a peaceful protest, like you said, hijack by hoodlums. And of course, hoodlums have been in this country based on the fact that they are not being confronted ab initio. People, a lot of people are unemployed, so they look for places to vent the anger of unemployment, the anger of hunger, and all that. That is why most people, most often they hijack peaceful protests, because people are not employed, people are not working. There are numerous people, walking the streets, not doing anything. If they are doing something, nobody will have time to hijack a peaceful protest by anybody.
All right, that's quite apt. You hit the nail on the head as usual. But the deployment of special forces, like you've just mentioned, shouldn't take away from the intention of that protest, which the Nigerian Labour Congress did tell us that Nigerians are being weighed down by inflation, insecurity, and poor remuneration. That's the emphasis. That's where the emphasis should lie. Yes, while we continue to advocate for the Nigerian police to be civil where protests are involved, and then one, like you've equally mentioned, the deployment of special forces could be specially trained policemen to handle protests so that they don't get hijacked by other special individuals in the society. Maybe.
All right, thank you very much for
special or special.
Okay, moving over to our next paper coming on Thursday from the Nation headline that says 2024-2025 budget Tinubu 6 note to spend 43.56 trillion naira. And in the Punch headline it says petrol war fallout, NMDPRA NUPRC bosses resign as Dangote's petition rocks sector. And in the Guardian headline says, tax reforms push back revenue crisis, threaten 2026 fiscal plan. And in the Vanguard headline, it says Dangote quick, Farouk falls. And also on the Vanguard headline says, courts ban IGP and PF from enforcing tinted glass permit policy nationwide.
All right, let's take Suko from the Vanguard, where we're seeing the headline, Dangote quakes, Farouk falls. Mr. S, we've saw the big man, Dangote himself, fighting this time around. His slaves folded. He first of all came out to, reduce the price of petroleum, for which the common man on the streets are happy, but we know that the marketers, the importers of petroleum products, they are not happy. They are losing money.
Yeah.
In fact, it's estimated that they will be losing up to 250 something billion, if we take account all they imported since November, but Dangote has given the instruction. In fact, as a follow-up to that instruction, as of yesterday, there was a circular, unfortunately I can't call it up now, there is a circular, telling the petroleum stations, to apply to the refinery, so they will get direct supply from the refinery, and there are other incentives attached. They have an opportunity to get loans from the bank, and they will be delivered directly. They will have their products delivered directly to their petrol station as well. But beyond that, we've seen infighting, and one of the fallout today is that Farouk has resigned with his counterparts, at the other upstream and downstream sector. The downstream midstream sector, that's where the infighting has been, and we've seen Komolafe equally resigning with Farouk, and the president has even gone ahead to nominate someone for subject to approval of the legislature. But the emphasis here, after Dangote raised that allegation, for Farouk to be investigated, where he got a whole $5 million to pay for the school fees of his children in Switzerland. A whole lot of head seems to be rolling. Mr. Rez, I beg you, help us here.
Well, you see, that is the kind of thing you see in the Nigerian oil sector. There's been this monopoly that some people in the oil sector want to fix prices and, suck dry the populace, making things even more difficult for the common man. You see, liberalizing the oil sector has sent signal that all can be well in Nigeria. You find out that many 40 licenses were given for refineries. Only Dangote has been able to come on stream, and that of Bua is still there in the making. Now, if these 40 licenses comes to be, of course, you have created an open market for everyone to struggle to survive. And then the laws of demand and supply will play its role. Just simple economic principle. It will come to play. And then the prices will be determined based on how you go about your own business. If you do not handle or manage your own business very well, of course, you may fold up. So that is the way it is. The importers of petroleum products are importing at a very high rate, though the dollar has been coming down gradually. But they don't seem to even move down as well. There's only one person, the Pinnacle Oil, the only one company that has a way of importing fuel. That's the only company that has a sumo laid to the high sea, where the big ship that imports fuel comes to anchor. And you see, it takes about 32 days for any imported petroleum coming into Nigeria to be evacuated into the tank farms. it takes 32 days. And within the 32 days, these companies, oil companies, will hire barges, that is medium ship, that will do the evacuation. So it costs a lot. And when you're hiring, they pay freight, they pay loading, offloading, they pay insurance and all that. These are expenses done on the imported oil. When these expenses are done, you find out that the prices of that product will now, the expenses made will now jump the prices of those products for the importers to break even. So that is exactly what is happening. Now the refinery is here. That's why we wanted those who will build the refineries source their crude here, and the expenses will not be much. Remember that we have crude oil here, but we sell to the outside world and go there to now import the finished product. So you find out the expenses that will be done in re-importing into Nigeria. So why have we not been able to, why should government not woo so many companies that are willing to invest into Nigeria to now, invest and build up refineries? Even the modular refineries that had ideas about, instead they would have given licenses for modal, so that we have many people refining, and the market will be very free and competitive. You have a competitive market. So these people do not want a competitive market. They want to begin to, say this is our price, and that is exactly what you're going to buy. When Dangote feels that he's breaking even, after refining his crude, he's breaking even, then he now says the price could still go down and will break even, and Nigerian people will be served. So, and why should anybody fight him for that? You see, it is when these people started the MMRA, that NMMRA or what, started fighting him, that he now to open some kind of worms, having been privy to some events happening. He now said, somebody who is there, what is his income and how is he paying 5 million for children in school? Then $5 million US dollars, when you exchange it, you know how many billion. So, yeah, and he's paying it for children's school fees. So now think about how much money he also uses for himself in other things he's doing in Nigeria and beyond. So, and you see the fallout of that, people are now beginning to leave their jobs, voluntarily, because all is no longer well.
Yeah.
So I just guess and hope that Dangote could have more information to give Nigerians on other areas or other sectors of our economy, so as to maybe possibly sanitize the system.
Yes, but before I let you go on this, just briefly, do you think that with the resignation of Farouk and co, that should close the investigation?
No, it's not closing it, but for him to resign honorably and leave the office, the investigation continues. The anti-graft agencies and code of conduct and all that will continue in their normal job. It is their responsibility to find out what's happening. But he has resigned, and a new person will come. And if the person comes, they will not know that somebody somewhere is watching, and it could also happen to him or her. So he has to be very careful.
All right. This fight, either for good or for good, is to the benefit of the common man on the Nigerian streets who are suffering, whatever fallout from when these big players in the industry fight. We've witnessed strikes upon strikes, industrial actions concerning petroleum products, where people were meant to trek and all that. And that does not take away that we equally need more competition in the market as well. We need more refinery coming on stream to even challenge the Dangote refineries. But no, as I was saying, this whole fight and competition, is quite interesting, because I'm seeing, yes, I'm reading here, the Dangote petrol station owners, are now calling on petrol station owners and dealers, to register their petrol station with them to benefit from 699 naira per liter gantry price, and they were added in incentives here, a 10-day credit facility with a bank guarantee. Then the minimum order is required is 500,000 liters. This, we've not witnessed something like this in Nigeria before, but it's quite interesting that is happening.
That's exactly what we are praying for. Many Nigerians are praying. That is, when you have situations like this, you begin to wonder what has been happening, who has been doing what, who has been manipulating the situation in Nigeria. You find out that the situation in this country has been manipulated over time. So we have just one refinery and we are beginning to have it this way. Then when we have the 40 whose licenses were given, built, of course, because we have the crude here, do we need to start selling crude? We'll make all the money from oil. We'll sell the crude to these refineries. They'll still pay. You sell it at the same price. You sell it to the international community. And they are not going to suffer transportation because it's very close to them. So I think Nigeria is getting better for that. Kudos to Dangote refineries.
And we will see that the CNG trucks are really deployed directly to petrol station owners. We could see the price coming down a bit further. And when other, like BUA, when they come on stream, we will see a very healthy competition that would equally see the price drop lower than that as well.
Of course, yes. Of course,
that's very nice.
Yes, actually. And as it's in the news today, it's saying that the price of fuel has gone down from 915 naira to 835 naira in Lagos. So we're expecting to see more, for that reduction. At least not every Christmas or festive season, the prices of petrol will hike.
We're expecting queues. We'll begin to hold petrol before.
And transportation
increases before festive season as well.
Who says that Tinubu is not doing well?
Are you campaigning?
I'm not campaigning, but at least for this, there's a respite.
No. But we are seeing,
when you have, because we have been in difficulties all the time, so when you have these respites, we get excited about it. It's not as if maybe it is not basically the responsibility of government. It is what they should do normally, and nobody will be excited about it. But because of suffering, because of the situation we have found ourselves, it will be as if very great things has been done for us. That is exactly why we say where the government is trying in that aspect. Just that sector. For now, we want it to be replicated in all the sectors of our national life. Let it be replicated in the production sector, production of other goods, so that we won't just be consumer nation. Let it be replicated in agriculture, so that the greater percentage of our populace will be employed. Let it be, and so on and so forth. Even the mining of solid minerals, because we still have a problem with that, especially when the Northerners think that the solid minerals belongs to them, while the petroleum in the South belongs to Nigeria. So it is just funny that Nigeria has to really understand and know exactly who they are and what they are doing and where they intend to go to.
Yeah, Mr. Rest, the one thing that is very clear here is that when we implement a good policy, the results will be seen instantly. That cannot be taken away from this whole scenario. And yes, like you did mention, we send kudos to the government of Mr. President Bola Ahmed Tinubu for what we are beginning to witness.
Yeah.
And like you did mention, we should equally see it replicated in other areas of our national life as well.
Yeah. All right, thank you very much for that. And now that is all for our week in retrospect today. And please do not forget to drop your thoughts using hashtag retrospect on Aneke TV on all our social media platforms like Facebook, X, Instagram, TikTok, YouTube, all at Aneke TV. And do not forget to call our phone number 070-3043-7110.
And thank you, Mr. Ress, for your in-depth analysis, for always availing us of your presence on this program.
For giving me the opportunity.
Yes.
And the viewer out there, I hope you are impressed with what we have been able to package for this morning.
Yes, Mr. Ress Arum is an in-house analyst of Aneke Television, and we would say thank you for that. I still remain your host on the Week in Retrospect, Uche Osar.
Yes, and I am Deborah Wakoba. Thank you for staying with us.
Bye-bye.
Instagram ọkwa na Aneke TV ka ihe ndị a niile na-eme. Aneke TV anyị apụọnụ.
Christmas carols and the festival of 9 lessons and carols remain one of the most enduring traditions of the Christmas season, combining scripture, music, and reflection to tell the story of hope at the heart of the Christian faith. Beyond the pageantry and familiar melodies, the service carries lessons that continue to resonate in an increasingly divided and uncertain world. The Festival of 9 Lessons and Carols, which originated in England in the late 19th century and gained global recognition through the annual service at King's College, Cambridge, is carefully structured to trace the biblical narrative of humanity. The readings begin with the story of the fall, acknowledging human frailty and the consequences of disobedience before moving through the promises of redemption and culminating in the birth of Jesus Christ.
Now in the 6th month, the angel Gabriel was sent by God to a city of Galilee named Nazareth, to a virgin betrothed to a man whose name was Joseph of the house of David. The virgin's name was Mary. And having come in, the angel said to her, "Rejoice, highly favored one. The Lord is with you. Blessed are you among women."
Sing lying on the bed of straw, across his table with a open door. Mary carried a bed she bore. The Prince of Glory is his name. Oh, carry me. Oh, now carry me to Bethlehem.
And they were in the same country. Shepherds abiding in the field, keeping watch over their flock by night. And lo, the angel of the Lord came upon them, and the glory of the Lord shone round about them, and they were so afraid. 10. And the angel said unto them, Fear not, for behold, I bring you good tidings of great joy, which shall be to all people.
Hallelujah, amen. Hallelujah, amen.
Christmas carols reinforce this message through music that is both participatory and reflective. Sung collectively by congregations and choirs, carols transform doctrine into lived experience. Their lyrics speak of joy, peace, humility, and goodwill, while their melodies evoke memory, belonging, and continuity across generations. In this way, carols bridge the sacred and the communal, drawing individuals into a shared moment of reflection. The significance of 9 lessons lies in their honesty. They do not deny the existence of pain, injustice, or suffering. Instead, they place these realities within a broader story of hope and restoration.
The angel of the Lord called to Abraham a second time out of heaven and said, By myself I have sworn, says the Lord, because you have done this thing. I have not withheld your son, your only son. Blessing I will bless you. I multiply and I will multiply your descendants as the stars of the heaven and as the sand which is on the seashore.
The people who walked in darkness have seen a great light. Those who dwelt in the land of the shadow of death, upon them a light has shined. You have multiplied the nation and increased its joy. They rejoice before you, according to the joy of harvest, as men rejoice when they divide the spoil. For you have broken the yoke of his burden, and the staff of his shoulder, the rod of his oppressor, as in the day of Midian.
The world today rejoices with a joy that never dies, and we join those holy voices praising Christ, our hope and pride.
Blessed God, the wonder story.
Christ is born in Bethlehem. Glory in the highest glory. His own goodwill to men.
The birth of Christ, as presented in the final readings, symbolizes renewal and the possibility of transformation even in the most difficult circumstances. This message remains relevant at a time when many societies are grappling with economic pressures, insecurity, and social tension. Beyond the religious setting, the service offers broader moral lessons. It calls for compassion in the face of hardship, generosity in times of want, and peace amid conflict. In contrast to the commercial excesses often associated with the festive season, the 9 lessons and Christmas carols invite quiet reflection, reminding audiences that the essence of Christmas is not consumption but conscience.
Joseph also went up from Galilee, out of the city of Nazareth, into Judea, unto the city of David, which is called Bethlehem, into Judea, which is called Bethlehem, because he was of the house and lineage of David, to be tasked with Mary, his supposed wife, being great with child. And so it was that while they were there, the days were accomplished that she should be delivered. And she brought forth her firstborn son, and wrapped him in a swaddling clothes, and laid him in a manger, because there was no room.
On the second day of Christmas, my true love said to me, 2 turtle doves and a partridge in a pear tree. On the third day of Christmas, my true love said to me, 3 French hens, 2 turtle doves and a partridge in a. On the fourth day of Christmas, my true love said to me, 4 calling birds, 3 French hens, 2 turtle doves and a partridge in a pear tree.
As we gather to celebrate Christmas, we remind ourselves of God's incredible gift to humanity. He gave His Son, Jesus Christ, born in humility, to bring salvation to all people. God's love is for you and for me. He loves you deeply, knowing your struggles and your fears. He sent Jesus Christ to bring hope, peace, and redemption to a hopeless world that lacks peace and that was ready for destruction. Jesus is the hope that God has given to us as a gift. Born in a manger, Jesus came for all, offering a blessing.
For many families and communities, the tradition also serves as a moment of pause. It encourages listening rather than rushing, reflection rather than distraction, and unity rather than division. In a fast-paced world, this pause has become increasingly valuable. As Christmas draws near, the continued relevance of Christmas carols and the 9 lessons lies in the ability to recenter attention on enduring values: help, peace, humility, and shared humanity. Beyond attending services and singing familiar carols, individuals and communities are encouraged to carry the lessons of Christmas into daily life. Acts of kindness, reconciliation, and care for the vulnerable should not end with this season, but define the months that follow. In doing so, the true spirit of Christmas can extend far beyond December. As the Christmas and New Year holidays approach, the Enugu State Police Command is urging residents and travelers to stay alert and prioritize their personal safety throughout the festive season. In a statement signed by the police public relations officer, Mr. Daniel Ndukwe, the command called for greater vigilance, warning that poor planning during the celebrations often leads to avoidable security and safety risks. The police are advising members of the public to plan their movements carefully, remain aware of their surroundings, and report any suspicious behavior to the nearest security agency. Travelers are also being asked to check the security situation of their routes before embarking on any journey. On travel safety, the command is reminding motorists to ensure their vehicles are in good working condition, checking tires, brakes, lights, and other key components. Passengers using public transport are urged to patronize only reputable operators at recognized motor parks to avoid falling victim to one chance and similar crimes. Residents are further advised to avoid posting their travel plans or locations on social media and instead share such details only with trusted family members. The police public relations officer also highlighted key road safety guidelines. Motorists are encouraged to keep to speed limits, avoid night travel, stay away from drink driving, and reduce all forms of distraction behind the wheel. They are also urged to cooperate calmly with security personnel at checkpoints and take regular rest breaks to prevent fatigue. For those leaving town, the police are calling on residents to secure their homes before traveling. This includes activating CCTV systems where available, avoiding predictable hiding places for spare keys, and switching off all electrical appliances. The command is also warning against storing petrol or other flammable materials indoors. Parents and guardians are being reminded to keep a close eye on their children, particularly in crowded public places, and to spend wisely to avoid financial strain in the new year. The police have also released emergency contact numbers for those traveling through Enugu State. These include the command's emergency lines on 080-320-03702 and 080-866-71202. The command and control center numbers 112 or 091-346-66668 and 091-3444-8093 and PPRO's direct line 080-217-09005. Numbers for reporting police misconduct have also been provided. And finally, the Enugu Police Command is urging residents to exercise caution, stay vigilant, and enjoy a peaceful and secure festive season. The command also wishes the public safe travels and a prosperous 2026.
Hello there, amazing teenager. Welcome to another wonderful edition of Teens Fun Hub, coming your way on Aneke TV. Here at Teens Fun Hub, this is where we keep it real. This is where we interact. This is where we learn. This is where we vibe and have fun. In today's edition, we have packed it with a lot of super exciting and interesting packages. In today's discussion segment, we're going to talk about the things teenagers wish adults actually understand about them. What about our health tips? Do you know the disadvantage of missing your breakfast? We've got it on today's health tip. And then again, we also have Amazing. She's going to be entertaining us with a very beautiful song. Now, stay back, relax, get your eyes glued to your TV set because we're about to take you on another ride. I am Auntie Oni. Welcome back. If you're just joining us, this is Teens Fun Hub on Aneke TV. We're going to start up with the talent display segment. We have Amazing in the building. She's going to entertain us with a track, Nobody. Sit back and enjoy.
Hello viewers, my name is Carlo Amazing and I'm here to entertain you with a song, Remain Blessed. Nobody ever wants to be alone. We all want a friend, call our own. Reasons and money come sometimes, so I guess I'll just make the switch and close my eyes. There is no place that I wouldn't go, because for love I will search high and I'll search low. All that one heaven takes a risk, but if I got one shot, I hope that I don't miss. Oh, I'm wishing upon a star, then I'll find you wherever you are. All I know is special someone is out there somewhere. 'Cause nobody ever wants to be alone, and we all want a friend, not all our own. Reasons and money come sometimes, so I guess I'll just make the switch and close my eyes. Thank you very much.
Welcome there. If you're just joining us, this is Teens Fun Hub on Aneke TV and you're on to the discussion segment. In today's discussion segment, we have something really interesting that I'm sure you will not want to miss. Today, we're talking about the things we wish adults understood about teenagers. What are those things you always feel your parents, teachers, generally adults, those things you feel adults do not understand about teenagers? Today we're going to talk about it. Joining me in the studio today to talk about this beautiful topic. From my left, we have...
Hi, I'm Kalista. Stay tuned.
Hi, I'm Emmanuel. Welcome to the show.
Hi, I'm Chinazome. Come vibe with us, okay?
You are sounding though. I don't understand. Money. Okay.
The country is really hard. It's hitting us.
Okay. The country is also hitting you. Yes. I doubt. Alright, let's head into the topic. So if I will ask you guys, from your heart of hearts, what are these things that you feel adults do not understand, like personally, on a personal level? Chinaza, the way I'm looking at your face now, I feel like you have a lot to say. Let's start with you.
Okay, I think like they don't understand a bit, not even one. They don't. In terms of the way we handle our phone, they don't understand that. They think that they are we are still in that olden day, that archaic age, that they don't even know what is phone. But now everyone is going digital. Like if you are not digitally intelligent, like you've lost it in this our generation. So in the sense that though we normally do sleep late due to we are good at pressing phone, but it's just that they feel like you're actually doing something that is not reasonable there. My mom will always say, "You're always pressing phone. Have you pressed out money from this phone?" Says no. She's really good at that. She was like yesterday that I should drop my phone. Like, mommy, drop phone for Guinea. Say, drop that phone here till morning. I'm not going to pick up the phone because I'm good at answering calls. Shower.
Okay.
Good calls.
Hold on. You know, she already mentioned the phone thing, and I think it's a very general issue.
Yeah.
It's a very general issue.
Like me now, I remember the period I was preparing for my jam. Every time my dad would be like, I don't read, I'm always on my phone, I don't read. Of course, yeah, everybody have their different way they learn. Me, I don't really learn like with notes, and I find it more difficult. So most times I learn with my phone. So sometimes I can be on my phone. I'm not just necessarily pressing it or just playing games. I'm like studying on YouTube or
I concur.
with like
and
past
at the
questions.
end, like if you don't perform very well, they will not be like, they will not talk. But I didn't
exactly.
Exactly. It is the I've been telling you about it's about to end your life. No stuff like that.
So the success does not concern you.
Exactly.
Once there is failure, it is the phone.
It's the phone.
It is the phone. Okay, but I feel like the phone actually has sometimes we overdo this phone thing.
Sometimes we do.
Chinaza, you overdo it. Chinaza, you overdo this phone thing. Let's just forget, because we're trying to. I believe that when there is misunderstanding, it's just because there is no understanding. So if they don't understand what you are doing there, they will not really get your point of view. So from their own point of view, they feel like you are wasting time, because what are you doing on your phone?
Honestly, one of the reasons why some parents hate it when their children, stay long pressing phone is that some kids or some teenagers, they don't do the house chores. Some people wake up pressing phone. The first thing they do.
So that's the issue.
Don't even know like if they can walk. They won't stand up.
I think that's the issue we have.
Yes.
You have not done things and you're already pressing your phone.
But wait. You can be doing something and still be pressing phone. Something like I can be cooking and be.
Why would you? That one annoys them the most.
It
annoys them the most.
Why would the phone? Cook the phone. Join the phone.
No, of course, why would you be cooking at home?
It's good now.
No, there are some things like it's urgent. You just need to reply
very urgent.
that minute or something.
Or like you are in of discussion, like you get
Something,
so you cannot cut off.
I think it's a lie. As the adult and the only wise person here.
Please, that means you're not going home.
Before I got my first phone, I used to tell myself something that I would never, because I used to see a lot of people on the streets while walking, they are pressing their phone. And I said, never will I do this kind of thing.
How was that going?
No. I didn't do fast, but I did actually.
Exactly.
I didn't do, but I understand you people, but still. This phone issue is actually is getting out of hand, if you ask me, because like you said, some teenagers will not do anything. They wake up pressing their phone. Some people will not pray. They will not brush their teeth. They're already pressing. So how do you want the adults to like relate with you when you have not done anything in the house? Like, so it's not making sense.
I don't comprehend.
So let's just assume this is a court of law now. How will you defend yourself? You people that said it's okay to press your phone, how will you not defend yourself?
Because like phone is just like joy. Right?
Okay, it's your joy.
Yes.
God forbid.
No.
It cannot be my joy.
It's just like joy. Like, okay, can you stay without pressing your phone for a week?
For a week, no. I don't think I can stay for like a day or two.
Like,
because sometimes we are not just chatting, we are making researches, we are getting information and all that.
Researching 247.
Yes, researching.
Yeah,
to make Nigeria better.
You are researching 247. Every single hour you are researching. They all researching.
Like there's something like they say, okay, let me say for example now, there's kind of a statement that I will make in my house. My mom will be like, like you are getting it in the brain, but this is not through that phone. She'll be like, she cannot relate it to that phone. It's only when things goes wrong that she'll not be like, this is what is
learns from the phone.
Because of the phone. Oh, you know, touch online.
Yes.
Like that.
True, very true.
So okay, let's talk about another aspect that adults don't understand about teenagers. I think we'll talk about the guidance and not judgments. Okay, so what do you have to say about that? Because a lot of teenagers feel like we are being judged A lot.
And which is it?
We are being too criticized, even more than someone said.
Actually, I don't really blame them.
You don't blame
this
them.
Is our generation. We do too much.
Okay, thank you so much.
We do too
God
much.
bless you.
How, sir?
I think there's a reason for that. The reason why our generation do too much is because we are Gen Zs. You know, after Z, there is no other alphabet.
Exactly.
So we are doing everything like we are doing our own and
Sometimes I do just wonder: is this generation that they are going to be parents in the next 10 years? Because they are living their life now. It's somehow.
Okay, why do you
Please permit me to send someone out.
Okay, so let's hear him out. Why do you say so?
Like the girls, like if you go on TikTok now, the girls.
Why would you say
Why are you blaming the
girl?
girls? Okay, you talk about the guys.
Why would you say?
You have to balance it. So talk about the girls. Talk about the guys.
Let's hear him out.
All right.
Both girls and boys, like we do a lot. Right, like this age now, you see a boy getting a girl pregnant at 17, 18, and it's wrong. So sometimes yes, they do like judge us or discriminate us or criticize us, but sometimes it's because it's our fault. I know judging is wrong. You should, but how will I put it now? But sometimes at that minute or at that stage it didn't happen, they may judge you because they are angry. Give them like 2-3 months or sometimes weeks. And
I think I have a problem with this judgmental thing.
Yes.
I feel like our parents judge us based on what they see outside. And in my mind I'll be like, is this the daughter you trained? Why are you like comparing me? Because that judgment of a thing is more like, I don't want you to become this thing. Okay, so they are trying to like hotel everything. So I feel like
I have a friend, though I'm not going to call her name.
Okay.
So let me say she do come to my house, and at a point my dad made one statement that, like, can't you behave like her? Can't you? Though she's very intelligent.
Comparison.
Yes, like she's very intelligent. But I'm not dumb also. But she's maths with
we know.
I'm not dumb now, but just that she's good in maths. So my mom, my dad will be like, every time she's always reading. The thing be say the man not to know the girl. Just that she normally come to my house and teach me. So he'll not be like, imitate her, can't you see? She's always at the top. But in my mind, I know that even if I have to imitate her, just in that aspect, but he will like, in general, he will be like imitate everything about her. But within me, I know that I'm a child of God compared to that. Like, if I'm to follow her ways, I don't know. So stop that.
There's something he said. He was talking about correction or this thing. One thing parents don't understand is that if you want to correct teenagers, don't correct us with love. We prefer it. If you are shouting, you're wasting your time.
Exactly.
For that thing. Yes.
If you want to correct us, just calm down and correct us. But if you start,
it's not depending every time.
There are some things you will do to make them very angry, and
but
they will shout down.
Like parents, they correct us as though they were saints and angels, not knowing that we are actually doing what they did that time. It's in our blood, so we're not actually.
They lie.
That's what they did.
No,
so
they don't know. See, their generation is not worse like ours now.
Calm down, maybe if you are very stubborn. There was a time your parents, maybe your mom or your dad was actually stubborn, but maybe that time he don't repent. But before he or she was like that to get it. So we're just actually following that path.
That this is what you used to like compensate yourself.
I swear.
With the evil you are doing. No. Okay. This your point. You said
correction with love.
Correcting them with love.
Yeah.
Did it ever dawn on you people that there is what we call tough love? You don't have to be.
We don't like
so gentle.
We love soft love.
That's the problem.
We don't want soft love.
In fact, you know what?
It's about spare the rod and spare the child.
Exactly.
Hold on. Let me declare my stand here. I am the advocate of adults here, so I am here for you people. These people said they don't want tough love.
Yeah.
No, we don't
what they want is
soft love, please.
Do you know, like,
this is funny actually.
Like, it's very.
This is funny.
It's not funny.
It is.
You know, like, let me not lie. Let me cast myself in this function.
Go
I
ahead.
don't do. So what I'm actually like trying to say that if you're shouting at me, in my mind I'm shouting back. Anyway, I'll be like, because I do this now and get that from me. Like, you know, something like stuff like that. But in your mind though. So as the person is shouting, maybe some words that the person said, if you ask me, I don't know. I can't remember.
Okay.
But my mom, she's so good that she will call you out and gently tell you something. In the sense that even if you stay, it will still come. Like, exactly, and be like, look at what she said. But that one, like, I can't even remember everything that you said.
But there are some people that they will do something because they know their parents are not going to like do anything to them or shout at them. They don't care if whether it's wrong or right. They don't care.
So and that is a problem. Unlike
those that if they want to do this thing, they are scared because if I do this thing, it's wrong and I will receive serious, like they will shout at me.
Exactly. You see, the fear of the cane, Abby, the fear of the correction.
But what if the child leaves the environment?
Leave the environment.
Exactly. Leave the parents.
That is why value is actually important. Do you know what they are trying to do with all the shouting, the ranting, the flogging? They are trying to imbibe value system. So that even when you leave,
have you come across like any person that the body is like iron? Even if you point gun at the person and be like, do this right thing, the person like is not even a single bit afraid of that due to too much beating. True. Like he don't collect beating pass.
Some parents
he's
actually
not afraid.
Some parents overdo.
Yeah, the too much one is a problem because the child will get adapted to that beating.
And be like, I will do anything. Finally, they just flog me and go. You've not heard of that.
So what could have caused that kind of?
That's spread the word and spread
too much beating. Too much.
I think it should be balanced. Sometimes you shout, sometimes you just.
But even if you have to
sometimes
shout
you teach with love.
There are sometimes like you need that shout for you to like know that yes, this thing you did is very, very wrong.
Exactly. Imagine every single thing you do.
You just
like someone. Yes. Imagine every single thing you do. They'll just fix you. It's fine. It's fine.
I will stop it.
Have you ever imagined yourself without the rod?
No, are you trying to blackmail? No.
No, let's keep it real. Okay, you're not imagining.
You want me to concur with you?
You have to concur with me because we are trying to bring a balance. This is a court of law. Today we are trying to balance things here. So if they never flogged you or shouted at you or giving you any form of tough love, because flogging and shouting is kind of like the most popular form of correction here in Nigeria, but we have plenty other forms. So, but imagine if you were not corrected. You know, I want to ask you this question: have you ever wished that you were born outside?
Exactly. Even now, I'm still wishing now. Like that
where you can slap your mom.
No, not because of that.
You see, it's only to that God I say she wished.
I don't like the country, but even if I'm to be born in another place, I still want to take my parents. I still want to take my parents. It's just like.
But you know, over there, even though they are your parents, they cannot really lay their hands on you.
Yes, I like that.
I know.
And it's not good. I don't think it's right.
It's not.
Yeah, if you see the way they behave arrogant.
Not all.
Very, my brother.
Not
all.
Not
very.
Those. Do you know what? Let's just tell God like to let me breathe.
No, excuse me.
I'm not going to be arrogant, I promise.
You will see.
Okay.
You will see a small boy, like a small teenage boy, calling a matured man by his first name. Man is wrong. No respect, nothing, just like by his first name.
So what is your definition of respect?
Like when you meet an elderly person, at least accord them the respect of like sir or mister, even if you don't know, just accord them that respect, greet them and stuff. But over there, they don't hit their kids, they don't like correct them physical, like all this kind of stuff. So yes, it's good.
Not too like like I don't.
You just said something about respect, and that made me to think about something. I think teenagers sometimes are misunderstood in this respect. You know, when you don't greet an adult, yeah, termed
I noticed something that, like, if not all the time, but if you greet an adult, the adults might not respond to you. Then a day that you will not greet, come back here. So at your age you cannot greet me. You get no stuff like that. Like, though it's good to greet you, but let me not say sure. I don't know.
The one I don't like is when I'm greeting someone and the person doesn't respond.
Exactly.
That one, like...
Adults don't respond that much.
So, do you think the person is doing it unintentionally?
I don't know, but
Some are very
I feel like if you hear it, you should respond.
There's one woman like living in our house. A day came and I greeted her. I passed. She just kept mute up to 4 times. I now stood like in front of her. I was not like, good morning. I don't hear now. Why I do it? You talk like that. Why would she do that? And from that day on till now, I know they greet her.
And another thing is that I think that sometimes teenagers are not trying to be disrespectful. Sometimes they're just trying to express themselves, like talk. I watched a clip yesterday. In the video, the woman was advising her daughter, so she was telling the daughter, leave boys. So like the daughter was a teenager, just around that kind, 17, 16. Leave boys, so don't follow boys. You will not get anything from that boy's curiosity. Just calm down. When you get married, you will do it with your husband and all that. So she now told the daughter, during my own time, I kept my body. Unfortunately for her, in the wedding picture, the girl was the little bride. So the girl was now like, Mommy, you kept your body. How was I now?
The little bride.
How was I now the little bride in the picture? And the woman just exploded, started shouting at the girl and all that. But this girl was just innocent. She was just trying to
sweet, like, do you think that it's bad to make male friends? Because my parents, they're not getting it.
I don't think it's bad to make male friends. Good. It's good. In fact, it's very good.
Anthony,
so they understand the other gender.
Why you even understand? Say that thing. Yes. Why you giving that?
Let me hear you prefer. Like I said,
it's very good to make.
You need to understand the other gender. Exactly. You need to understand the other gender. If you are just mingling with girls,
she's about to bomb you very soon.
No, relax. Let me get
if you are mingling with just girls, you won't understand this gender.
Like, you know.
And it might cause a whole lot of trouble.
Exactly.
In the
Trying
future.
to balance.
Calling me Manuel.
Trying to balance the equation again. But parents,
just don't go into a wrong relationship or mingle with the wrong guy.
But they're always that. They don't even want to
How will you know who is
them.
the wrong guy?
You have to know. You have to be careful while making friends. You don't just anybody can be your friend.
Exactly.
Guys are corny.
Emmanuel.
No, I want to hear from you. What do you think? What do you think? I want to hear from you. Yes.
So let's hear you.
So let's hear you, sir. Let me sit down very well. Let's hear you.
Yeah, sometimes you need like male friends, which is nice actually. But I don't feel you should, as a girl, you should have too much male friend.
Okay, why?
Okay, why?
I don't know. Guys are deceiving. To be honest with you. Guys, let me.
Yes, I can hear you. Continue. Yes.
Guys are deceiving, and if you have like too many male friends, there's a probability you end up with the wrong guy.
Okay.
Like you friend the wrong guy
and the person will destroy your destiny.
Something like that.
No, right now we're not talking about relationships. We're just
No, I'm not talking about. I'm talking about friendship. Even friendship, guys can do a lot of damage from friends.
How? Please tell us.
Please talk to us. We are interested.
I don't
Expose your gender.
Elaborate.
I'm not a snitch, so I will.
Okay. Hold on. Telling us something that will save us today makes you a snitch. Can you imagine?
Like,
I don't understand. You have to say something.
Bro code.
No.
Say now. Just
give us a tip.
Because her problem now is that she wants it to be normalized. You know, sometimes, mostly in Nigeria, or I don't know which culture, but in our own culture, if they see you with a guy,
you are
in trouble.
You all don't finish. They will be like,
that's the highest point.
They're not even, especially my dad. Like, he's not even going to ask you, what are you doing here? What are you saying with him? You just hear, boom, from the back. Immediately, you run home and start crying from home, from that place. Because once, he's home, you are gone. Because he will beat you like tomorrow, no day. Like, there's no amount of explanation that will save you that day, apart from God.
And if maybe in the next 2 weeks, if you mistakenly vomit in the house, even if it's malaria.
Like, malaria!
You go explode.
No evidence.
So speaking from experience.
If you just vomit, you be like, you vomit 2 times in this house. You get. Stuff like that.
Oh my God.
Seriously, I want us to iron this issue out. But the bro guy here does not want to help us out. You know we are like your sisters.
Don't worry, you can learn something.
Oh, you should learn by experience.
Yeah. Another thing about this topic here. I feel parents should like learn to understand that we are a bit like we are growing, and there are some mistakes we should make and learn from it. It's not like those dangerous mistakes, but at least some certain mistakes we should make and learn from it. The experience will tell us that yes, this thing is wrong and we won't try it, rather than yes, if they tell us that yes, this thing is wrong, we won't try it. There are still some that will still go there and try it. Yeah, that's just the thing.
You're always curious.
So what are these experimental trainings?
Let's
hear you about that. Let's go the ones you want to go and try out.
Okay.
No, I'm not planning on trying out.
Okay. I know your dad. Continue.
Go ahead.
I don't.
Okay, there is none.
Yeah, there's none right
So now tell me that one you want to try out. You don't want anybody to stand in your way.
Sha, stuff like I would like to. I don't think like there's any for me to try out. Is it like something that is wrong?
Yeah, but not that wrong.
I did not hear you the first time.
Okay, you are saying something wrong things
that's what he's trying to say. That's why I did not know what to say again. You mean like bad things but not really bad things because I don't understand. You see why adults misunderstand you. How can you be doing something that is bad but not really bad?
Something like if you go out and they'll just leave you to know the time that you are going to come back, and if you come back late they'll not tell you something like this thing that you did now this late, how do you feel? Stuff like that. My mom, once you go out by 6, if you receive any phone call from her, you are gone. You get. So sometimes like I feel like just like we are I'm a Catholic now, and tomorrow we are having one feast, Christ the King. My mom will be like, once you reach that place, once you take Jesus from your distance to that altar, turn and go. When others are there, she can never allow you to stay there like for a very long period of time. But it was actually one night that we stayed. By 8, we're not coming back. Jesus, we nearly died. You see, like we stopped driving phone. Like a year we stay, and a lot of boys we gather and disgrace her, tear her clothes. We just shouting blood of Jesus. Once we reach house, the next year, immediately we took that Jesus, that altar, we left with speed. We did not even wait a single time. So I think that we must try that.
Okay, I just remembered something in the he said something about what parents. Yes. Okay. Growing up around that 14, 15, 16 years, my parents, they never allowed me to attend any birthday party. They never. I just tell my mommy, she's my classmate. He is even worse. So honestly, I used to, even if it's a male's birthday, I'll just tell she's an altar girl in my a guy. I'll be calling.
You change it.
So one day my mom keep telling me no, don't go, do this. You have a lot of things to do. So one day I insisted. I planned this with my cousin sister, and we went. When we got there, it was a male's birthday, but we are just two. He didn't invite many people, me, my cousin, and the guy. So he brought palm wine
and you drank.
This guy
You're
is
not
laughing.
feeling your leg.
This guy is laughing. That corny nature of guys.
We are discussing. He was gisting us. He brought cake first. The cake was very sweet. We ate it, and then he brought the palm wine. And it's been long. I think before then I only tasted palm wine once in the village. I sipped it, so I just took it. It was very sweet.
It's me and you today.
Hey, and my cousin sister was warning me. She was giving me, this kind of thing. You won't talk in front of the guy. She was like, calm down. So the guy was telling me, do you want more?
Okay. And you drank to stupor.
I just drank 2 cups, but oh my God.
You're not feeling your legs again.
I couldn't feel my. I couldn't feel my whole body. I was just laughing. I kept on laughing. So the guy left. I don't know. He left to buy something. So my cousin sister was not telling me, why are you laughing? Why? She didn't even understand what it was.
happening?
I'm just thinking, why are you laughing? What was funny? Why are you laughing? I kept on laughing till the guy came back. The guy already knew what was happening. So he now told me, okay, just try and go. Men are really wicked.
Oh man, I beg. I'm not.
Okay, the truth is now coming out.
So I didn't know what I was doing at that point. I stood up, I wanted to go out, I fell down, my cousin sister shouted, the whole drama. We now chatted the kiki and went to, and unfortunately for me, my mommy and my auntie, and if you know African aunties, oh my god, it was
Combo. I swear. They were combo.
It was horrible, and I was just like, my plan was, once I enter the house, I will rush to the bedroom, lock the door, and if anybody knocks, I'll just pretend that I'm sleeping. I will not come out till the next morning. But unfortunately for me, both of them were there, so I just came. I couldn't even stand well, I was just staggering and all that. So my mom was like, something is smelling here. I rushed into this into the room. While I was running I fell down. So at that point I had to say the truth. And I learned from that. That's what he was trying to say. Sometimes they try to correct you, they try to teach you, but you want to experience that.
That's not what he's trying to say.
No, that's what I'm trying to say.
That's what he's trying to. That's what you want to experience that, and you will learn from your
mistake. That's what he's trying to say. If you see like a newborn baby and the mother, and they keep something like a lamp, and the child is trying to go and find out what is in that fire, so they will try to get you away from it, but at some point they will just leave you. Once you go, they just single touch, you will run inside, and from that, even if you see ordinary touch, you start running. You get so.
That is all about being a young adult.
Yes.
Before you actually become the real adult.
Yes, let's experience and know.
But some experience can actually lead you to doom. Like, it can destroy your life, so you have to be careful. But after that particular experience, I still go to, now they leave me to go to birthday parties, but I know the friends that I go for their parties. I can't just walk at any party, you understand?
Yeah. But do you think that living is a teenager to do what he or she lead to the person's can it spoil the person?
Very well.
I didn't get that.
In terms of caging a teenager.
That's what I was going to say.
Because I think too much caging can make, if the person is being left loose, the person
that is a very misbehave. Is a very crucial
misbehave very well, in the sense that we live in this area, so I have my uncle. They live in upstairs and they're always there. They don't come down. So I noticed that anytime that they come for holiday in our house, they misbehave.
The caging. Should I use the word caging?
Yes, very bad.
Adults, I know I'm your advocate, but
very bad.
The caging thing, what do you think about it?
It's very bad.
It's very bad.
Very bad.
Very
quite
bad.
Unbearable.
Are you sure? Because I know some people that after staying indoors for a long time, after a while, they don't feel like going out again.
Yeah,
they just maintain their serenity, stay calm.
And it's very bad.
It's very bad.
It's not. It's not actually. I like
it depends.
Some of you.
Very simple.
It depends. It depends. Most of the kids that are being caged, they are sometimes antisocial. They find it difficult mingling with people. Exactly. They find it very hard, which is wrong, because you need people. You need people in your life. You need friends. So one of the disadvantages is it can lead a teenager to being antisocial, which is very wrong.
And they are even prone to mistakes. Yes.
Sometimes.
When you cage a child. How?
So your child is prone to mistakes.
People want them to go out.
It's more like
test.
No, it's not about testing. Calm down now. A child can be from nursery school to secondary school. The child don't go out, don't mingle with people. Then if the child is not being let loose in the university,
I think that's a problem. Because in my first year in school, that was a very big problem.
Exactly.
Once the freshers enter school, they will try to do everything
because they're not been allowed to do it.
They will try to do everything, starting from going to clubs, staying out late, eating, they will do everything. And I think adults should try to understand teenagers. That's where this whole thing should base on.
Exactly.
If an adult understands you, the adults will know how to like treat you.
Yes.
I feel you want to be spoiled to be spoiled. I feel you want to be spoiled to be spoiled.
No, sometimes they don't understand that they are moving in the wrong track. I feel like parents should educate, like teach your children. It's not about being caged. Okay, let me tell the story. I have a cousin. I have a small cousin. The parents are always, they live in the island. The parents are always locking her inside. If you ask, she just tell him, no, I don't want my baby to spoil. I don't want her to spoil. But this girl has a phone. The surest way of being spoiled. Do you understand? So I remember going to her house and I caught her watching pornography on the phone.
Exactly.
Inside the house that she's being caged in. So I was not asking her, where did you learn this from? She said, school. So the girl is going out. When she comes in, you lock her inside. She won't go out again. You feel like that would make her pure. I don't even understand.
That little time that
just teach your child. Teach your instead of locking her. Teach her. Tell her that. Please don't do this. Don't do this. It's not about being.
I get. But the little time like they express themselves even more because they know that the next minute they are being killed.
Yeah.
So,
all right.
And leaving your children to go around in the street like mad people is also wrong.
Yes.
Because they can meet out there. So just keep a balance.
Just balance it. And leave us to
the balance of life. I think this is the only useful thing Chinaza has concocted. This is like the only useful thing she has concocted in this discussion. God bless you. I really appreciate it. Nobody's going to give you that soft love you're looking for. Tough love. Personally from me. Alright. Thank you so much for your wonderful contribution. And I think this would be the place where we'll call it a wrap of Eba.
And now finish the next one outside.
So, well, what advice would you be giving to teenagers when it comes to the term of trying to, have this balance between an adult you are relating with and yourself being a teenager? What would you tell a teenager? Let's start with you, Emmanuel.
I don't know, like I don't know.
Well, I think as a teenager, I think like the advice for me to them is kind of they should also understand the adults. That they should also know that they are also trying to teach them the right path. And by doing theirs, they should also know that in the future they will still give birth to children that they will still like to show the right path. Stop looking at me that way. Get what? That they should also do their thing.
You know this thing you just said just reminded me of what I used to do. Sometimes whenever I'm misbehaving, I used to remember that I'll give birth one day.
Exactly, I'm settling them.
Alright, let's hear from you, Calista.
Okay, I think teenagers should also understand their parents. Understand that their parents are not Gen Zs like us. So sometimes when they shout, bear with them and try and explain to them. Don't shout back, because the problem is that sometimes teenagers, the parents shout, you shout, there are too mad people in the room, it's a whole lot. So just calm down, understand your parents, and parents understand your kids also.
Why?
She's making what have I done?
Because they're not siding you guys.
So that's the advice I would give.
Okay, I think I love that part, because personally I built a relationship with my mom. How did I do it? I think someone asked a question like that one day, and I was telling the person that one of the basic things I did was to become the favorite child. What did I do? I was the workaholic there. I was doing everything. I was engaging her. I was even trying to discuss with her, even when she does not want to talk. I would call her sweet names. I was just trying to understand her and get our relationship on the same level. So I think if you can learn from your auntie Oni, it's not be bad. So I think we'll call it. We'll draw the curtains here. And until next time, we actually have another series on this topic. But until next time, We want you to follow us on our social media handles on Instagram, X, TikTok, YouTube, Facebook, or at Aneke TV. We will meet you next week Saturday here, where we talk about things that matter most to you. I am Auntie Onu. Welcome back. We've just concluded the discussion with the teenagers on the things teenagers wished adults understood about them. Coming up next is the health tip by Chinaza, and we're going to be talking about disadvantages of skipping breakfast. Stay tuned.
Hi again and welcome to another edition of the Health Tips segment. So today we'll be discussing about breakfast and effects of skipping your breakfast. Breakfast is a food you take in the morning or shortly after waking up. Examples are eggs, toast, cereals and fruits. But you know you don't take that for breakfast, do you? We know what we take, but try to make sure it's very light. So effects of skipping your breakfast are numerous, but I'm going to be sharing a few with us today. Firstly, it causes low energy and tiredness. Secondly, it causes poor concentration and poor productivity. When you skip your breakfast, you tend to think more about what you eat than what you do. Thirdly, it causes risk of chronic diseases like heart disease and diabetes. When you skip your breakfast continually, you are prone to these diseases because skipping your breakfast causes inflammation, it causes insulin resistance, it causes metabolism changes, and it also causes unhealthy eating patterns when you skip your breakfast. Fourthly, it causes overeating later on in the day. And finally, it causes nutrient deficiencies. So try as much as possible not to skip your breakfast. There are a variety of reasons why teenagers miss their breakfast in the morning, but I'll be sharing a few with you today. The first reason why teenagers miss their breakfast is poor time management, and secondly is not feeling hungry in the morning because of late night meals. Yes, all of you that used to wake up by 2 a.m. to go and find something to eat, no. It makes you skip your breakfast, so try as much as possible to avoid it. Now, I'll be giving you some tips that will help you to take your breakfast in the morning. Firstly, prepare your breakfast overnight in order to manage your time properly, so you don't run helter-skelter in the morning looking for what to eat. Secondly, try as much as possible to avoid those late night meals. Eat light and try to avoid late night meals. And finally, get inspired. Try something new each morning. Every morning, if you try something new, I bet you won't miss your breakfast. So, breakfast has numerous benefits, which includes it boosts energy, it supports growth, it supports concentration in your day's work, and it also reduces the risk of chronic diseases in your body. So try as much as possible to take your breakfast each morning, as breakfast is very important for you. When you eat something good and healthy in the morning, you start your day good. So until I come your way next time, I still remain Naza with the health tips. So try as much as possible to take your breakfast. Bye.
You don't have to skip your breakfast. Hear it from me. Hear it from us today. So you don't sleep in class. So you have energy. It's not when your teacher is saying, does it increase or decrease? Everybody say, creases. I don't want you to be part of those people again. Alright? Don't skip your breakfast again. It is very important. Vital. Very, very necessary. On to the next segment is our Achalugu and Odogu segment. Stay tuned and enjoy.
Achalugu, where have you been? We've been looking for you. Like this whole time, we've been looking for the Achalugu. Where have you been?
You and who?
Odogu now. That man has torn to pieces. Like,
what happened to him?
He's been crying for you. Like, he's so heartbroken. Even when I saw him, he was carrying cats and nets to catch fish for you. Like, he was so. Why are you laughing? It's a serious matter.
That one can be so
life and death.
so unbearable. Like,
Net and cat.
Yes, he wanted to.
As what?
But he said you ordered catfish. Yes, catfish. Yes.
Oh Jesus.
Achalugo, this is the serious matter. Odogu will die without you.
Let him die. They said once you die, they will bury you. It's very, very simple. Let him die. We have enough land to swallow him up. Let him die. Hey, do you like? I'm coming back from where to flex and have fun. Can't look at me now. I need money. I cannot be an Achalugo to Odogu that is very poor. It's not possible. His name is now Odiegu. I cannot cope. He doesn't have money. He doesn't spend on me. He doesn't I cannot cope.
The main reason I've been looking for you is for you to help me beg him to give me the money for the bag he bought the other day.
Which bag?
He said he wanted a bag for his Achalugo. Please help me and beg him. This money is important to me. My business will crash.
Oh my
I want
God.
to go to the market, please.
He has not paid.
He has not paid for the bag. Oh.
For the bag?
For over 2 months.
And
now.
I'm flaunting with the bag. He has not paid.
Please, just...
Can you see? And you want me to go and meet him and console someone that is broke.
Just beg him for my
Beg
money.
him for what?
Just after the
Let me give you the best advice. Go there, get that fish and that net, sell it and get your money.
That money.
Now you like planning on going to his house to...
Don't you know that bag is a designer bag? Like, how will cat and net be able to pay for it?
But they're very, very funny. How can you give that kind of bag to someone that is like that?
Because it's actually go is worth it now. Please, I need my money.
Exactly. Odiegu worth the payment. Go and collect it from me. Thank God I'm not even like with the bag so that you will not like disgrace me here. Sha, as you can see, I wasn't planning on going to his house to meet him, but cancelled because I can't even meet that broke guy. Let me go back to where I'm going.
Now, please help me.
Please beg you for what? Sorry, please. No. I can't.
I thought it was only money that this Odogo was lacking. But at this point, low-key, he don't decrease. That was a very beautiful one in our Odogo and Achalugo segment. And at this point, we will be wrapping it up. And I'm sure you enjoyed yourself. We took you on a wonderful ride, starting with the discussion segment, where we spoke about the things teenagers wished adults knew about them. Then we moved over to the health tips and why it is very important and necessary not to skip your breakfast. Then we also had a beautiful rendition by Amazing. Wasn't that fun? Of course it was. Now I want you to stick with us, same time, same station, next week Saturday, as we bring another fun and interesting and exciting segment just for you. You know, we had you in our hearts, but you don't know. I will remain Auntie Onyi, and I want you to always follow us on our social media platforms on Instagram, TikTok, Facebook, X, YouTube, all that on Aneke TV. This is Teens Fun Hub.
Christmas carols and the festival of 9 lessons and carols remain one of the most enduring traditions of the Christmas season, combining scripture, music, and reflection to tell the story of hope at the heart of the Christian faith. Beyond the pageantry and familiar melodies, the service carries lessons that continue to resonate in an increasingly divided and uncertain world. The Festival of Nine Lessons and Carols, which originated in England in the late 19th century and gained global recognition through the annual service at King's College, Cambridge, is carefully structured to trace the biblical narrative of humanity. The readings begin with the story of the fall, acknowledging human frailty and the consequences of disobedience before moving through the promises of redemption and culminating in the birth of Jesus Christ.
Now in the 6th month, the angel Gabriel was sent by God to a city of Galilee named Nazareth, to a virgin betrothed to a man whose name was Joseph of the house of David. The virgin's name was Mary. And having come in, the angel said to her, "Rejoice, highly favored one, the Lord is with you. Blessed are you among women."
Sing lying on a bed of straw, across his table with a open door. Mary cried in her bed she bore, the Prince of Glory is his name.
O carry me,
Oh, now carry me to Bethlehem to see the Lord appear to men. Just as was the stable then, the Prince of Glory when he came.
And they were in the same country, shepherds abiding in the field, keeping watch over their flock by night. And lo, the angel of the Lord came upon them, and the glory of the Lord shone round about them, and they were so afraid. 10. And the angel said unto them, "Fear not, for behold, I bring you good tidings of great joy, which shall be to all people.
This every day, hallelujah, amen. Teluno to hallelujah, amen. Bawo joko ti gbenuwa ni wanke chuku amoro yanuwa.
Christmas carols reinforce this message through music that is both participatory and reflective. Sung collectively by congregations and choirs, carols transform doctrine into lived experience. Their lyrics speak of joy, peace, humility, and goodwill, while their melodies evoke memory, belonging, and continuity across generations. In this way, carols bridge the sacred and the communal, drawing individuals into a shared moment of reflection. The significance of 9 lessons lies in their honesty. They do not deny the existence of pain, injustice, or suffering. Instead, they place these realities within a broader story of hope and restoration.
The angel of the Lord called to Abraham a second time out of heaven and said, "By myself I have sworn, says the Lord, because you have done this thing. I have not withheld your son, your only son. Blessing I will bless you. I multiply and I will multiply your descendants as the stars of the heaven and as the sand which is on the seashore." The people who walked in darkness have seen a great light. Those who dwelt in the land of the shadow of death, upon them a light has shined. You have multiplied the nation and increased its joy. They rejoice before you, according to the joy of harvest, as men rejoice when they divide the spoil. For you have broken the yoke of his burden, and the staff of his shoulder, the rod of his oppressor, as in the day of Midian.
With a joy that never dies, and we join those holy voices, praising Christ, our hope and pride.
Blessed all that want a story.
Christ is born in Bethlehem. Glory in the highest glory. His own
The birth of Christ, as presented in the final readings, symbolizes renewal and the possibility of transformation even in the most difficult circumstances. This message remains relevant at a time when many societies are grappling with economic pressures, insecurity, and social tension. Beyond the religious setting, the service offers broader moral lessons. It calls for compassion in the face of hardship, generosity in times of want, and peace amid conflict. In contrast to the commercial excesses often associated with the festive season, the night lessons and Christmas carols invite quiet reflection, reminding audiences that the essence of Christmas is not consumption but conscience.
Joseph also went up from Galilee, out of the city of Nazareth, into Judea, unto the city of David, which is called Bethlehem, into Judea, unto the city of David, which is called Bethlehem, because he was of the house and lineage of David, to be tasked with Mary, his supposed wife, being great with child. And so it was that while they were there, the days were accomplished that she should be delivered. And she brought forth her firstborn son, and wrapped him in a swaddling clothes, and laid him in a manger, because there was no room.
On the second day of Christmas, my true love said to me, 2 turtle doves and a partridge in a pear tree. On the third day of Christmas, my true love said to me, 3 French hens, 2 turtle doves and a partridge in a pear tree. On the 4th day of Christmas, my true love said to me, 4 calling birds, 3 French hens, 2 turtle doves and a partridge in a pear tree.
As we gather to celebrate Christmas, we remind ourselves of God's incredible gift to humanity. He gave his Son, Jesus Christ, born in humility, to bring salvation to all people. God's love is for you and for me. He loves you deeply, knowing your struggles and your fears. He sent Jesus Christ to bring hope, peace, and redemption to a hopeless world that lacks peace and was ready for destruction. Jesus is the hope that God has given to us as a gift. Born in a manger, Jesus came for all, offering eternal life to all who will embrace it.
For many families and communities, the tradition also serves as a moment of pause. It encourages listening rather than rushing, reflection rather than distraction, and unity rather than division. In a fast-paced world, this pause has become increasingly valuable.